Total Smith here. Make sure y'all subscribe to my boy Downtown Deuce ASAP. Come on, man.
Destination restoration. Destination restoration. Destination restoration. Destination restoration. It's our time. Can you feel the elevation? We on a mission on vacation. Time to create the separation. Championships and motivation. 313 need no explanation. Miss me with all that conversation. We ready for that confrontation. Counting down to our destination. The final destination. Together all the time together. It's us against the world, it don't get no better. We turned it around, that was the beginning. Coming for the crown, you know we winning. Time to put in the work, I'm about to go berserk. Taking our prisoners, it's my time. Yeah, I know that it hurts. Say break out the church, you don't wanna see me in my prime. The mission is to ring, we're caught in everything. In the city, supporting the dream. Vision new I never seen, we deserve to be king. It's all or nothing, no in between. The clock is ticking and I hope you're listening. Don't touch me cause I'm sizzling. Physicality is tipping and mentality is menacing. The dog pound body's crippling. Now the clock is ticking and I hope you're listening. Don't touch me cause I'm sizzling. Physicality is tipping and mentality is menacing. The dog pound body's crippling. Yeah, feel the elevation. We on a mission on vacation. Time to create the separation. Championships and motivation. 313 need no explanation. Miss me with all that conversation. We ready for that confrontation. Counting down to our destination. The final destination.
What up, though? Welcome back to another episode of the Deuce and Boss Show. Hope you guys are having a great start to your weekend on this Friday night. As you guys can see, we are joined tonight, guys, by Eric Vincent, aka E. Vinny, Clutch Points reporter and writer for the Detroit Pistons. He pulled up to the show. King was supposed to be here, supposed to pull up, but he called in sick. I think he lost his voice, so he wouldn't even be able to tough it out. So hopefully he feels better soon. But guys, got some Pistons, not Pistons, but some playoff basketball going on right now. But how y'all feeling, man? Boss, E. Vinny, what's the word? How y'all feeling?
Mute.
Oh, I'm on mute.
I was.
I had to check mine too. It's okay.
Oh, thanks. I feel great though. I'm excited. Tomorrow I get to fly to Detroit for some real playoff basketball.
Hey.
But I like the play-in this week. There were a couple of surprises we discussed last night on our fan show, which was awesome. For any fans that are here tonight too, thank you so much for coming on. It was a blast.
Yes.
We're definitely gonna try to do it again because it was just there wasn't enough time to talk to everybody to the full extent, but it was awesome. But I feel good. Pretty, we're the show. You guys are in the chat. You see it. The Magic and Hornets are on right now, so we're gonna keep an eye on it. You guys will let us know too if there's any momentum swings. Right now, Magic are running away with it a bit. That's where I'm at.
E, talk to me, dog.
Life is good, man. This is the best time of the year. I got to go through March hearing everybody talk about March Madness being the best basketball time of the year. And I hate that. I cannot stand that nonsense because that's JV basketball. This is real professional basketball, real stakes on the line, real hoopers on the floor. And I'm happy that we get to see, our Detroit Pistons representing, from a brand new position of power. It's going to be a fun postseason run. The play-in has been pretty interesting. And, I think this is going to be must-see TV for the next several weeks.
Yeah, for sure. So before we get into the festivities, guys, as you guys know, Boss and I, we are doing another fundraiser for the month of April. For the month of April, guys, we have partnered with Autism in the D, a nonprofit that focuses on autism, acceptance, and inclusion, and it supports community events to bring more awareness and resources to the city of Detroit. And you guys know Boss and I are going to be donating half of our super chats for this month to the Autism in the D Foundation. So once again, a big thank you to all who have supported thus far. We're looking forward to see what you guys are going to do next. So thank you for that for sure.
Yes, absolutely.
All right, guys. So as of right now, the Pistons don't officially know who they're going to be playing in the first round. but we know it's either going to be Orlando or Charlotte. And as of right now, the Charlotte Hornets look cooked. We'll know in a
Yeah.
few hours when this game is over, but it looks like it might be a wrap. So we'll see. We'll see. But the last time we linked up together, the Pistons had about a month of season remaining. And now that it's over, we're going to talk about it in full. So we all know they've had a historic season, breaking all records, setting new ones, ending droughts, going back to 2008 for the most part. But looking back on this season, guys, what has been the standout moment for you guys, or moments for you guys this season? There's a ton you could really look at, a lot of candidates for that. But I'll start with you, E. What are some moments you are going to carry with you this season into the offseason with the Pistons?
A lot of candidates. I would say for me, you know what? I'm going to say what they did to the New York Knicks. I feel like the Pistons have had a lot of games this season where it's been a lot of anticipation. I mean, obviously we saw it with the back and forth with the Hornets. And it feel like every single time the Pistons had those highly anticipated games, they stepped up and they showed out. And the Knicks were definitely, each of those 3 times, one of the most anticipated moments of the regular season based on what they did in the playoffs last year. Not to just win, but to win decisively without, a full roster. Cade Cunningham showing up to the Garden, where we know historically young players break out and cement themselves as an arriving star in the NBA. And Cade did that in tremendous fashion. Scoring, defense, playmaking, Jalen Duren not even being on the floor, outplaying Jalen Brunson. It was unbelievably satisfying to watch them be able to step up, because there were so many Knicks fans, there was so many national media, people that were just ready to see the Pistons take that step back. It's been so much doubt with this team of, okay, they're doing good here, but maybe they'll slow down, or maybe they'll take a step back here. And every single time the Pistons have had to answer a call, especially against the Knicks, one of their biggest, I guess, rivals, you could say, they answered the call, and it was BTA every single time. And it was more than impressive to watch. So to me, that stamped a lot in terms of what I was excited for with the Pistons and what they did.
I like it. Boss,
Yeah.
What about you?
Totally agree. Gosh, just reminiscing because it's just so much. I really loved when my parents were visiting in town and we got to watch the Rockets game together, the live one where we won on live national TV. And this is after we kind of had a slow start, the second or third game into the season. Maybe third or fourth, I don't know. But we got to, when I just remember jumping around, like, we just beat the Rockets. Like, we just beat the Rockets. Like, Kevin, the Rockets, who are just loaded with talent, in my opinion, whether it's working for them this year or not. But that was a big moment for me, just in terms of what I knew that this team was capable of. Yeah. And then the 13-win streak, especially with there wasn't like a consistent lineup for the majority of that, with injuries, with people being in and out. That was huge. Obviously the rise of Jenkins. I saw a comment here because I was thinking about him with the Wizards buzzer beater, which was great, but also just how Richard says Jenkins lining up the Lakers was great. Right. Another one. And I guess I'll also have to say, like, that they swept the Nuggets. And I know that they're a West team. They only played them twice, but I've lived here for almost 10 years, and that they've won once here, and they won by 1 point. And that was a few years ago. And I'm pretty sure Jokic was like ejected early or something. Like, it was hard. Yeah, nope. I'm pretty sure it was something like that. But so that was just cool to see, be able to root for, and especially being in Detroit or being in Denver and going to the Detroit game, there were so many more Pistons fans that I had ever seen since that. And part of me was like, you guys coming out of hiding now? Like, I've been here every year. Where were you at? But also it's just really cool to see just some young fans in the building as well. And even my friend who I go to games with every year, he was like, I feel like I need to buy my son a Cade Cunningham jersey because he just loves the way Cade plays, So just the impact that it's had on people all over the season.
I agree. That's a good take. Yeah, for me, it's Danis. It's Danis for me. Obviously, it's well documented by this point that I've been a big fan of him and the things he's been able to do. Yeah, I'm with you, Richard. Just the things he's been able to do, his ascension, just being ready for the moment, taking advantage of the opportunity, and then cementing himself on this team, helping us win games, going from a two-way to now being one of the only, I think, two-way players who has a significant role in the playoffs, right, on the top team. That doesn't happen too often. So the things he's been able to do this year in short order, when given the opportunity, is what that's been the moment, I would say, for me It's just over the course of the season, just how he's played. Go ahead, E. Get in there. Bro.
What's your favorite game that he had this season?
Ooh,
That's hard, bro.
That's a good thing too. That's good that you got to think about it. Yeah.
Right. I forgot who it was against, but I think I would say the 15 assist game.
Against the Sixers.
When he tied Ish Smith for most assists in the game from a backup point guard. That for me, because you know me, I'm big on ball security for my point guard. I'm always assist turnover ratio. That's what I always go to. So to see him do that, you know, in the game when Cade wasn't, I don't think Cade even played that game.
Yeah,
he did play, but he didn't. He played because he played. But to do that off the bench was insane. That's how he's able to get that. So yeah, just the way he was able to just wheel and deal and quickly learn this offense and be able to just help his guys. Yeah, that was impressive for me. So I would say that moment.
Yeah.
For
Yeah,
sure.
lots of choices. Like the ones that come to mind again, the Lakers, the Wizards, the Cavs game that was nationally broadcast that got us to overtime because of his clutchness. Has the clutch gene that he's just been pretty fantastic. And I think that's just something that is going to come in handy in the playoffs too, being able to be clutch. But we have two here. I think this is Drew, right? Tolu earned his stripes that New York game, bloody mouth and all.
Sir.
Definitely.
Yes,
Good
sir.
one there.
Shout out to the two-way guys, man.
Yep. Devin says the rise of JD. Very good.
For sure.
Yeah. I mean, I showed you a graphic. JD was the most efficient player last year in terms of career playoff scoring. He was the most efficient. He's been the most efficient the past 2 years, but of course it was short-lived. But he had most efficient, less points. But add what he's been able to do and produce at the basket, I think it's going to be a lot better this year as well. And then King Lion has a question real quick, if you don't mind, Deuce.
Yeah.
What team do you guys think posed the biggest threat to the Pistons in the East? We talked about this a little bit last night.
Yeah.
And I think just the biggest one would be like an Eastern Conference Finals matchup with the Boston Celtics. That's where I'm at.
Yeah, what about you, E?
Yeah, I'm going to rank it actually. And I'm going to surprise some people. I'm going to go the Celtics would be one. I just think they're clicking right now. I'm going to say it. I don't care because I'm not buying these other teams. I truly think the Atlanta Hawks are the second most dangerous team.
Yeah.
I'm not buying the Knicks. I'm not buying the Cavaliers.
Yeah.
They have championship expectations, but I don't think they are truly ready to come out of the East right now. Like, I don't like the James Harden. I like James Harden's acquisition for the regular season, but how it translates in the playoffs with how they got to play defense against this Pistons team, I don't think they're that big of a threat, especially their front court not being a great rebounding team as well. New York, I think the Pistons can walk over them in 5 games. I truly think so. I think a team like Boston is well put together, and then a team like the Atlanta Hawks, they're playing with house money, and I think they're going to beat the Knicks in the first round, to be honest with you. Like, I think the Hawks are super dangerous. I think they have a lot of scoring, a lot of good perimeter defenders, and I think they all can work well together if they're playing at their best, especially with how they were playing the second half of the year. I think the Hawks are the second most dangerous team to the Detroit Pistons, and I mean that.
Bro,
Agreed.
We would not be saying that if that Trae Young trade did not happen.
Oh, no, not at all.
Because their identity is solidified now.
Both organizations, it's a win. I think the Wizards' young guys are going to learn a lot from Trae Young, and I hope Anthony Davis, if he can keep his body together, intact for a season. But I think that it's just going to be so clutch. But we had that talk last night because, like Devin said, that's what you said, because we were talking about it, because I've been living my life thinking that it's been the way, because this is how it wasn't. I feel like this is how it was. But I've been living my life thinking that the 1 seed plays whoever the lowest seed is the next round. So I've been living my life thinking we have the opportunity to play the Hawks second round. Then I found out it is bracket, and now I'm almost like thankful for that.
Because we ain't got to see the Hawks until maybe the conference finals.
It would be a Celtics Hawks second round, which would be nuts. Very fun.
That'd be crazy. Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you, E, for sure. And me and Devin said the same thing. We were kind of talking about that. I think Boss too. We were all saying Atlanta.
Yep.
Watch out for them. And Key Alexander Walker for Trae Young for that team just makes so much more sense. Go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say I liked them either. I thought they were gonna end up playing the Cavs in the first round as a 4-5. I would have predicted them to upset them too. But now even with the Knicks, where they're soft on the inside, and I think the Hawks can have their way there, I really think they can get them in 6 or 7 games. I'm super excited for that series.
I think it's going to be a Raptors-Cavs upset. The Raptors have actually swept the Cavs this year, but it was all early. It was before the Harden acquisition. But I was looking today because I was curious. I was matching up these teams for our bets and stuff, just making sure that my logic was true and not something I imagined. But the Raptors are 10 teams above the Cavs in defensive rating.
Well, they're definitely a defensive squad
and
for
they're
sure.
big, so I feel like they're going to give them if it's not, it's just definitely not going to be a sweep. And I think it goes to at least 6-7 games, and then but I can still see if one of the guys has an off night like a Harden or a Mitchell. It's and also what was that stat? Donovan Mitchell and James Harden have been in the playoffs every year of their career. I've never made it.
Nobody's gotten to the conference or
crazy. And Harden's been in the league for like 15 years.
Yeah,
that's ridiculous.
Yeah, I think it's just 15. Yep.
Nuts.
Yeah. Crazy.
Anyways,
Real quick, let's get to Dom coming through. Appreciate you, bro. Says Charlotte is making the game of basketball look extremely difficult right now, but whoever wins this game will get out alive, but it won't matter. Pistons in 5. Yes, exactly, bro. They'll be temporarily alive. They'll be on life support because I was saying yesterday, whoever wins this series is still gonna lose to us in 5.
Yeah.
Whether it's the Magic or the Hornets. So thoughts on that, guys? Go ahead, bro.
Yeah, I was watching the Heat game that they had with my dad, and granted, that was it was an exciting game, but it was annoying watching them play. Like what I've learned to love about the Detroit Pistons and how they play. Again, we talk about it all the time. How they don't chase what everybody else does. Everybody else is shooting excessive threes, playing sloppy defense, rushing shots when they don't need to. The Pistons have. Granted, a lot of concerns that we had, towards the second half of the season was how they could execute, in half-court sets and what their offense would look like. Their offense has gotten better and better as the season progressed on. And looking at these teams like the Hornets who just shoot threes and play sporadic, irresponsible basketball, like, great, again, the game was fun to watch because they were actually hitting the shots. But when you're not hitting those shots, that is a recipe for disaster. I think their stat is they're 10 and 18 in clutch time games or something like that. And that is a recipe for disaster as a young team, especially playing against a team like the Detroit Pistons. If they end up losing this game, this is going to be a blessing for them because if they had to play that style against Detroit with the depth that they're going to play with, I think JB is going to roll out 11, 12 guys deep. I don't think he's going to change like other teams do where they condense it to 9 or 10. I think he's going to stick with what's been working, and I think that's going to be an advantage, especially against teams like the Hornets, who would be tired by the fourth quarter jacking up the shots the way that they do.
You're right. That's against the conventional thought process for how we're used to seeing. We see a lot of rotation shorten. I've even said, I don't know if we're going to play 12 guys or even 11 a night, but it's worked. It's worked all season. We know the playoffs is a different animal, but that's when you need to have your depth even more. So I'm with you, bro. Yeah, I think that's a good take. And Dom, by the way, Dom was supposed to come on yesterday. I think he got his days confused. So, bro, if you want to pop on for a quick minute tonight while we're here, you're the exception, bro, because you always showing love. You've been showing love. You've been here since I've had 25 subscribers, bro. So it's about time to get you on. So if you want to come on, let me know. I can drop the link in the chat. And only for Dom, guys. You know what I'm saying? If I see a bunch of people showing up in the studio, y'all ain't getting on tonight. But the exception, like the 65-game rule, is for Dom only tonight because he was supposed to come on yesterday and he's been showing love forever. So let me know, bro. If not, no big deal. But go ahead, boss.
Yeah, just a comment on that too, is that I do agree. And I think that, Eric said it perfectly. It's also why I thought that the Heat were going to win, because I just don't think if their outside shot is shooting, they have literally nothing else. And it was just a bummer that we didn't get to see teams at full strength. I felt that same way when I saw Curry leave yesterday. I was like, no, I don't want anyone. I wanted to see these teams compete at full strength, But I think the way the Hornets get better is by bringing in a reliable big in the offseason. So I'm curious to see what they do, because they really love Diabate. They really love him. And he is a young, fun guy, but they need a consistent in the paint scorer. They need that. So I think they're still. I think they're still a year removed from that, because they definitely formed their identity as the year has gone on. But you can't rely on a rookie who has been breaking. Nobody should be going after Con Knipple for the game he had, going 0 for 6, because he's playing twice as many games as he's played in college. He's a rookie. No matter it's a different scenario. It's a different feel. So they just kind of realized that they can't fully completely rely on that. But also they had the weapon where I wouldn't be surprised if Con and Miller and Bridges and Kobe, they all started draining threes and got right back into this game. So it is a plus for them too. But right now, I just don't think it is. And that was too. My thing about BJ Edgecombe is I was really impressed with the way he approached the playing game with the Sixers, because
he's not scared.
he just he really there was no hesitation for some things. And even though he made rookie mistakes, he took some bad shots, some air balls, bad passes. I just think that's such an incredible confidence. I'm excited for that. But again, not on Con, but I still think that the Hornets are just a little bit away. And like you said, even if they win this somehow and then we face them, we do eliminate them. Like, it does prove that there's still a little bit of way what they've done this season is cool, but they have the one strength. And like Eric said too, as I've said this in games before to you, Deuce, I'd be like, I feel like we're just trying to get back into this game shooting threes because the other team is, and it's driving me nuts.
Yeah,
I don't like it.
Yeah, it's not sustainable. It's sustainable for a play-in, if because if you have a hot night, you can beat anybody. But if you don't and you have no other style of play to go to, you really can struggle, and that's what we see right now. So yeah. All right, guys, we'll leave it there on that. Let's switch gears to our Pistons a little bit and talk some Pistons basketball tonight. That is the main reason we are here. Let's talk Cade Cunningham for a minute. Guys. Got some good news. We talked about it a little bit already yesterday, but we found out yesterday that both Cade and Luka will be eligible for NBA awards, and Cade will qualify for all NBA honors. So I want to get you guys' reaction to the news of the NBA considering, Cade's circumstances and determining that he should still be eligible, which I think was the right decision. But I want to get you guys' thoughts on that. But before I do that, I just want to show you guys something before we do that and just take a listen to what Coach Bickerstaff had to say about that. I think he spoke on it. And I think JD spoke on it, and Cade also spoke on it. So let's check that out.
Now, I was excited. I think I seen it, yesterday, just walking through the facility, seeing it on TV. I was excited, man, because he earned that, man. He worked for it. It was unfortunate, that he went down for a little while and wasn't able to kind of play those couple games. But if you look at not even his numbers, but just like his play, his confidence, the way he's been leading the team, the way he took that next step to become one of the top 5 players in this league. I mean, he's earned that, man. He's earned being in the MVP conversation. He's earned first team all NBA. He's earned everything that he's going to get. So for them to see that and understand that and give him his opportunity to make those awards back, I think I was very happy to see that.
I thought it was awesome, man. I was excited about it. It's a blessing. I'm thankful to the NBA and NBA for looking at my case and doing it that way and making me eligible. It means a lot to me and my family. I think I'll appreciate it more down the road, once my career is done. But I still know that it's a big honor right now.
Did you expect to get eligible?
I mean, obviously, I felt like I had did enough to earn being an All-NBA team and everything. There was a rule in place that stood in the way of that, and I thought I missed it by something that I didn't to still, allow me to get in. But I think the NBA saw it the same way, and I'm just thankful that they allowed me to get in.
So just getting back to that question, what is you guys' reaction to the news, of the NBA actually considering his special circumstance and Luka's as well, and saying, yeah, they should still be eligible? I'll start with you first, E. What's your thoughts on that, bro?
Loved it. Absolutely loved it. I actually just did a write-up on it. It's on clutchpoints.com right now. I'm super, super happy for Cade, man. I think when this conversation started about the 65-game rule earlier in the year, it was really just predicated to 2 guys. It was just Jokic and SGA who were teetering around that area of maybe not being able to be eligible. As the season went on, it became a lot more people. Luka, Cade, Wemby. I think I'm forgetting a couple more people, but there's a lot of other names that were getting close. So that is why I was okay with an exception being granted. I didn't like it in the beginning of the year where they were just trying to protect 2 people. Like, if it's a plethora of people that are kind of crammed into that all-NBA discussion, then yeah, maybe we should have a different conversation. And considering Cade's circumstances, even though he did have a few injuries this year, this one was super unfortunate, and it couldn't have come at a worse time, even though the Pistons were able to, play well without him. It was really unfortunate with how it left him short by 1 game considering how he played. And again, I even like put up my own like kind of suggestions. I tweeted out like if you're top 15 or top 10 in like one or two rankings, if your team is in playoff position, if you played a certain number of minutes, I think those qualifications should be good enough for you to be able to qualify for an exception. And I think the league did a good job of looking at what Cade did, looking at what the circumstances were, and letting him get back into this conversation. I think he's a shoo-in for first team All NBA. MVP obviously is going to go a different conversation, a different way. But for, these kind of things, these things are important. Like, I don't like the people that was like, oh, who cares as long as you get a championship. No, like these things are important to players' legacies and how they stack up their resumes before they retire. So being able for Cade to say, I've been all NBA twice and then first team, my 5th season, that's a huge deal for him. So I'm super happy the league was able to do the right thing, take a different look. I think it's going to expand a bigger conversation for other players down the line as well. But I think that's 100% fair. I know that Anthony Edwards got denied. But again, I think they did the right thing. I think it was smart to let Cade, get the blessing to get the exception.
You've been saying that for a while, bro. You've been standing on that. Like, no, and JB just recently said the same thing. Like, this means something. There's nothing wrong. You're not a selfish player. Okay, if you're just trying to get your stats and you're not playing winning basketball, it's different.
Right.
But obviously, success. If you have success, these are going to follow anyway. So yeah, go ahead, boss. Thoughts on that?
Yeah, basically everything Eric said. Also, with Ant being denied, he was closer to 61 games, and Luka and Cade were both at 64 with their games missed. So I think that's another reason that they looked at it like it was just one game. And also, Ant Edwards missed games due to suspension this season,
Right.
and that's
Right.
That's different.
because
I
it's
forgot
like,
about that.
and but I agree too, because like Maxey was one of the guys I thought of as well. And honestly, what I really appreciated on the whole conversations is someone like Wemby, who has played far, far less minutes than Maxey, Cade, Luka, and like he's played a lot less. But he was still out there, even though he was still in the running, he was out there advocating for minutes to be something that needs to be considered. And that's been my thing, is like, I think minutes to be considered. I think that there should be I think players should be considered, like players should have a say as well. Like, no, like when we play this team, it's hard, to play them, with this guy. Like, I think it should be kind of just a mix of things, and I think this rule was a good thing to help keep teams, keep players in it that want to win and everything. But it's okay to admit that there still needs to be some adjustments. And so that's what I hope that they do going forward. And that's really all I personally have to say about that. I do think, and I agree with Eric too, I think it's just a little bit of erasing history when that happens, because in 20 years, like when I look back on stats, I'm not looking why somebody didn't make a certain all NBA team 20 years ago. I'm like, oh, who got this award in 1982, So little things that are just gonna go a big way, and they do deserve it, both of those guys. And like I said, I do hope it changes to a little bit of a minutes thing, because I think Maxey deserved it. And like Eric said too, real quick, just based on how other, how it got close to some guys, like Jokic had to play in the last game of the season so he wouldn't miss it. Like it got really close to some of these guys who of course you want them to play. And I just go back to Blake Griffin kind of being like, it almost feels like a punishment for Cade playing tough in a game that he didn't necessarily need to win. So
I like that. Well, it's unfortunate that guys like Anthony Edwards are not going to be eligible, but I just like that everybody who applied for an extension or didn't get it. Like, you get an extension, you get an extension, because that could have made it a very slippery slope.
True.
As far as to why the rule is even in place to begin with. So like, even though it's unfortunate for him, I do like that they showed at least some pushback. Like, we're not doing this for everybody, because that could kind of get out of control quickly if in the first year where you've seen Cade get it and Luka and not a bunch of other guys, it's like, oh, well, next year we ain't got to play 65. As long as I have a doctor's note, we're good. So I'm just glad that didn't happen, and that they're kind of holding firm to a standard going forward for next season. So that's good to see too. Okay, guys, let's go ahead and there you go. You was frozen for a second. I was like, is he mad? Is he just really into the game?
I was like, he's no reaction. I heard him say and I was like, oh, he's not really moving.
So look, guys, we got our guy Dom is gonna pop on with us for a minute. He's on the stage. Let's bring him on. Dom, can you hear me, bro?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can y'all hear me good?
Yes, sir. My
what
dog.
Up, though?
How you
What's
doing?
up, Dom?
What's good, my people? Deuce, Boss, EV. How y'all doing?
First of all, bro, I just want to say thank you, man, for all the support you've shown us. You've been great, man. You've been a great supporter. you've been rocking with me for a long time now. You know what I mean? Since I pretty much first started doing this. So I just want to say thanks to you personally. It's a big deal to me. So yeah, that's all I want to say. But what's going on with you, bro? Like, Pistons wise, what's on your mind? What are you seeing? What are you thinking? Even with this game, what you seeing?
Oh, well, actually, right now, I got to say, I'm extremely happy we're finally out of the gutter because I haven't been back in Michigan since 2013.
Oh, wow.
And so basically, my entire time away from Michigan, we've had all these dead years, and our younger fans have only had the Blake Griffin years to hold their hat on, which I felt so sorry for them.
Facts.
They thought 2018 was doing something. I'm like, nah.
Perspective is definitely important. But yeah, go ahead. Keep going.
But as far as what's going on right now, like I said in some of the chats before, I know some people are probably gonna be reluctant, but I don't mind. We're gonna have to pay during this bag coming up this offseason. Young Buck earned it. He stepped his game up, especially when Cade was out. He surprised me. Like I always liked Duran, but he surprised me with the way he kind of put his team on his back. Kind of took over a leadership role with Cade out. Same with the Sar. Like him and the Sar were kind of a duo with that.
Yep.
Dan has stepped up as well. But as far as this playoff game, at least so far, it looked like we're going to be playing Orlando. And
that way, bro.
I think we win in 5.
Okay.
Only thing I would question is what type of whistle are they going to give Paolo? Because that could slow some games down and get it a little extra ugly, depending on how they do that. But I'm confident we're going to beat whoever we play in the first round.
Okay. Yeah, we said 4 or 5 at the most.
Yeah.
So yeah, man. Go ahead, boss.
I was gonna say real quick, just to go off of what Dom just said, the Magic do lead the league this year in free throws attempted. The times they get to the line at 28. So it's a genuine concern for sure. And you would hope that the whistle is a little bit, that they let them play. This is 2 physical teams, and I want them both to play. And if one team gets the whistle, give the same whistle to the other. Is kind of where I'm at. So
I'm gonna piggyback off of the JD comment, and I think that kind of is going to be an X factor as well. I think he's going to be a big factor in this because in the second half of the season, especially when Cade was out, he did a really good job of getting to the free throw line. So if we can kind of find a couple guys that can, keep things close, because Paolo is going to flop his way to 15 free throws. That's just what he does. So if you can find a couple guys that can kind of offset that, the Pistons are going to play aggressive. They're going to live in the paint. They're going to stay, to their identity. They're not going to chase threes and just play off the perimeter. They're going to do what they do on the inside, and I think that can still make things a little tough. And Paul, I don't think is a great free throw shooter. He can miss and be a little inconsistent sometimes. So, the Pistons still have a good recipe to be able to offset that. So I'm excited to see this series if it gets down to it.
Just give Cade the whistle his peers get.
I swear.
Facts.
Please.
Facts. I'm going to piggyback off what you said, bro. As far as JD, you mentioned how he's getting to the free throw line. I like how he's knocking down his free throws.
Yes.
Post All-Star break, he's shooting about 80% from the line. And boss, we always talk about that. Like, as much as he complains, and he deserves to complain because he's getting slapped around a lot. Yeah. A lot of calls they don't call. A lot of times he doesn't complain. So as much as he complains as he should, when you get to the line, you got to knock him down. Like getting guys to the penalty and the bonus, all that stuff is great. But what you do when you get there, and he stepped up, man. My benchmark for him at the beginning of the year was 80%. And that's exactly what he shot the second half of the season. So I knew he could do it, and it's going to be really good for him because he's going to be available late in games in crunch time because they can't just foul him. He can get to the line and make them pay. So for me, that's so important for him, and that's why he's so efficient in all these games. That's why he's got 25 points on like 9-10 shots because he's knocking down the free throws. Yeah. So to me, that's going to be so important for him going forward to just be able to stay on the floor. They can't do the hack-a-mitch like they do in New York. Richard Robert can't stay in the game because he can't shoot free throws. JD, his dominance and his ability to knock down and pay it off is going to be so important, I think, this year. So, go ahead.
Real quick, and especially against these 2 teams, neither of them have a big that scare me.
Facts.
Neither of them have a big that can necessarily match up to Duran. So in the first round especially, that's going to come in clutch for us.
Good point. Dom, you got anything else for us, bro?
As far as the current Pistons, no, not really.
Okay.
Not really.
Okay.
I'll have to get you. You have to get me on another time because remember I told you I tell you my story about being emotional and how I got to where I'm at right now. I don't know if you want me to whip that out right now or not. But
give us the short version real quick, and then we can have you on back on how to get the long version.
well, I don't really know if it's a short version.
Is it too much to say?
Yeah, you're
okay,
cool.
we'll hold off on it then.
We need it
I
all.
don't want to shortchange it.
yeah, it's a lot going on there.
Okay,
But
okay, for sure.
But
We'll
yeah,
back on
yeah. All right, I appreciate it though.
And Dom,
Yeah,
thank you
appreciate
so
you, bro.
much. And
As
I know
always,
you've been around for Deuce since the start, but you're definitely someone that I've got to know too for your comments and your super chats, and just the super chats are already appreciated, but especially with the fundraisers we've been running, it's been very impactful. So thank you so much. I have to thank you, face to face ish. So yeah.
No problem. Deuce was the second local content creator I ever followed. The first was King. But
Okay.
I started following both of them because I just enjoyed the local kind of like person like me perspective opposed to a more media perspective or narrative driven perspective. So
Right.
I always like to follow any of the local people, show support, show love. It's all good.
Yeah, you've been doing that for years, bro. So like I said, man, I appreciate your support, man. Just showing up, bro. So it means a lot to all of us, for sure. You are a big piece of this community, man. So we appreciate you, man.
Thank you,
I
Dom.
I'm
appreciate
gonna let you get back to this game, Brody.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm trying to see how they Charlotte getting whooped up on.
Yeah.
Man, it ain't pretty, bro. BTA over there, it ain't looking good at all. So, but as always, man, I'm gonna tap in with you soon. Get you back in the show.
All right.
All right, bro. Appreciate you. All right, guys. Man, this game is getting uglier. Like it's not getting any better.
Happening real quick. They're close to being up 40 at half. So
Yeah.
Ooh.
Let's switch gears real quick. So
yeah.
one thing y'all know I always say is smell the roses. Smell the roses. Enjoy the season. It's no time for complaining or nitpicking on this team. None of that. Of course, we always look to the future, right? See beyond the season, what the Pistons can do, their window, all the stuff we always talk about. But the other day, Boss sent me something that was very interesting, and it kind of just reminded me of just how incredible of a season this has been for the Pistons. It's a video chart. It shows the seeding of all the Eastern Conference teams, changing from game to game, with teams moving up and down based on their records. It starts in mid-November of last year, so you guys are going to see a lot of movement in what the teams are doing. But as you're watching, just let me know if anything stands out to you guys as you're watching this. So first of all, shout out to the creator of that chart. First of all, that's not mine. Shout out to Boss for showing that to me. But as you guys are watching this in chat too, as you guys are just watching that graphic unfold, did anything stand out about the movement or lack thereof? Yes, Stella.
Yeah, got it.
Go ahead.
It's
yeah,
a fluke,
take off.
though.
Take
It's
off.
a fluke.
Take off.
Yeah, I just got one question. You mean it wasn't Boston and Joe Mazzulla?
Yeah,
The way I've been seeing the internet and everybody on TV. You would think Boston were the world beaters this season. And what did I miss? What am I missing here? The Pistons were number one all season? No way. Something must be wrong here. I must be missing something.
Right. I mean, it would seem that way. But it seems like the chat feels the same way that you guys do.
especially the last
Pistons
month.
looking like they flatlined at the top.
Yeah,
Go ahead, Boss,
it's
get in
almost boringly
Right.
good. And but it's just been a whole they're a fluke, the worst one seed. Like then Tatum came back and they came within 2.5 games at most with us. And that was closer than OKC was with the Spurs. I mean, that was farther than OKC was with the Spurs for most of the season. So it's just again, I think that's the biggest thing is it's not a fluke. Like if you're better than us, like the Cavs being like, well, we're playing standings because we want the Pistons, then win 60 games.
Exactly.
Like it's not like we're a 50-win team at the top and everyone in the East just struggled. We won 60 games.
Yeah. Easy. What you got, bro?
There was somebody on Twitter. I really want to find their name because it was the favorite thing I saw on social media. It was like early back in November when the Pistons just got the number 1 seed in the East, and somebody screenshot it, and they would take like this sponge emoji, and they'd be like, "Oh, I'm just cleaning the Pistons number 1 seed." And then every single week they would keep doing it over and over and over. They just did it all season long. That was one of my favorite things that I saw all year, man. I'm telling you, so smelling the roses and enjoying the the passion and the enjoyment of what the Pistons did this season, it was an absolute blast to be a part of, man. Again, knowing what this team has been through, knowing how this core has been from the bottom and rolls all the way to the top in an organic fashion, it's absolutely been beautiful to see how dominant they were, and they just getting started. We're not done yet.
Just getting started, bro. They went 7-2. I think that was in the chart. I mentioned it earlier this year. 7-2, and they never relinquished first place after game 9. So, and the exciting part is that, if you guys have been, not you guys, but the chat, you guys have been listening to what they've been saying the last few days. I know you have, you've been there, but they're not satisfied with just finishing with the best record, man. Like they want more. Isaiah Stewart recently said the Pistons still have more hunting to do, and I loved how he put that for sure. So, a question for y'all: outside of Cade, outside of JD, in chat, you guys too, who do you guys think is going to be the Pistons' biggest unsung playoff performer this playoff run?
Is it who we think or who we want to be? Because those are kind of two different.
They're two different things. I agree.
Who we think
I can give you kind of both.
Let's go with who we think. Let's just go with who
needs to be. Okay.
Oh, no, not who it needs to be. Who you think it is going to be?
Oh, who is it going to be? Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. And guys, the poll is officially live, so I want to hear from you guys too about who you guys think is going to be the Pistons' biggest unsung playoff performer this year. So you guys go ahead and take off on that and let us know what you think.
What did you put a poll up?
I'll start with you first, boss. I'll start with you first.
Man, so it's not who I because I'll answer this question later too about who I think kind of needs to take a jump for us to make sure that we get through the playoffs and it's going to be huge. But who I think will be consistent for us in the playoffs, who I think, especially looking at the matchup, it's most likely going to will be great for us first round. I'm going with Tobias. I think he's going to be the best for us with the Magic. I think that he's going to, be the vet that we need on the court for these playoffs. And, but it's hard. It's a hard pick. It's a lot of candidates, but he's the first one that comes to mind for me. Maybe if I, thought on it a little bit more, I would have had a
Let me narrow it down because I did it based off of the bench guys.
Oh, okay.
So that's
how I'm gonna ask. I know
you can't see it. Right. So who I have, I've got Danis, I've got Kevin Huerter, I've got Paul Reed, and I got the Grit Bulls, Ron and Javante combined.
Ooh.
So between Danis, what is that, Velvet, B-Ball Paul, and the Grit Bulls of Ron Holland and Javante Green.
I'm going with Danis because I think he gets the most minutes of that group.
Okay.
So I'm going with Danis.
Okay. What about you, E? Danis,
I knew you. I knew you was gonna pick Danis. I'm not gonna pick your guy. I'm gonna go Stu. I'm gonna go Stu as the unsung hero.
How did I forget to put Stu in there? I'm sorry, Stu. I did not put you on this list.
I think it's gonna be him. I think, this is blowing my mind in itself. This is the first series potentially, assuming he stays healthy, that we'll see a full beef Stu throughout the playoffs. Obviously, we didn't get to see much of him against the Knicks, and knowing that these front courts that they're gonna have to play against through the Eastern Conference, he's gonna be super important playing next to JD. I think the front court needs to really be on their A game, throughout this run. One thing that really bothered me through the second half of the season, maybe not the whole second half, but a good portion throughout the after the All-Star break, the Pistons were surrendering a lot of offensive rebounds, and a lot of that happened when Stu was not on the floor. So I think if they have the ability to limit teams down to one possession and they can get on the open floor, or if Stu can block shots like we saw earlier in the season, I think Stu is going to be the biggest X factor, at least the unsung hero, for what this team can offer. Now, granted, maybe that may hold up some Paul Reed minutes because I would love to see him play as well. But I think for what this team needs in terms of defense, he's going to be one of the most important anchors, for this front court in terms of, limiting offensive, second chance opportunities, protecting the rim and giving the Pistons an opportunity to get out and transition and score the way they like to. And I think Stu is going to be a big part of that.
Okay.
Yeah, I like it.
I don't know how I forgot about Stu. As much as I talk about two big lineup, I don't know how. I'm gonna make another poll. But boss,
Okay.
go ahead and let me know what you think.
I did Jenkins.
What did you say? You said you
But-
said
Oh, yeah,
Okay.
she went with
okay.
Jenkins, yeah.
But
Okay, you said
if you
Jake,
want,
okay.
let me know. If you want, I could just talk about who I think as a player overall, not on the bench, just someone who I need to stay consistent for the playoffs. I can tell you who that is if you want.
Yeah, go with
Wait,
it. Go with it.
poll.
I'm just creating
I
this new
think
poll.
it's
I'm
a
updating.
Star
Go ahead.
Thompson. I think his defense
Sorry?
is incredibly important, especially
Yeah.
leading, finishing the season, leading. Like he's been confident. He had a little bit of a dip with his injury, but then he just soared. And we've talked
Yeah.
about it all season. I've talked about how he kind of goes up and down, up and down, up and down. And ever since he's been up, these past, these last 10, 15 games that he came back, he was consistent across the board. He's out there taking more his defense confidence is transforming into his offensive confidence. He's making his free throws. He's hitting shots. He's taking shots that, maybe he won't make, but that he's not they're not bad. He's taking them because he feels like, that's what he needs right now. So he's who, in the question before, when you were like, what kind of player other than Cade and JD do we need? It's a SARS defense just needs to stay consistent, and he can't be getting into foul trouble sort of thing. So that's right now.
Yeah, that's a good point. And that's something I have to give him credit for this year, because we know last year he was really big on trying to turn defense into offense to the point of getting in foul trouble. Unnecessarily at times, just pressuring 94 feet early in the game. It's like we don't need that right now. We understand set the tone.
Reaching
we don't
a
need
lot.
to do that right now, to the point to where you're getting in foul trouble and you're not even available anymore until next.
Did you autocorrect to Karis or something, or is someone just saying?
I'm updating it right now.
Okay.
So here's the updated poll for who you guys think. The choices now are Dennis Jenkins / Sasser,
Okay.
Kevin Herter / Karis LeVert, Isaiah Stewart / Paul Reed, and then Ron Holland / Javonte Green.
Okay. I like it.
Okay.
So it's
I like
two
that.
for each one, because
I like
I couldn't leave it up there without Stu. I couldn't do it.
No,
I could
yeah.
not do it. For me it is Dennis though. I'm gonna throw Sasser in there too, but I think it's gonna be mostly Dennis. Just because I think he's gonna have a dual role. I think he's gonna be the backup point guard for sure. We know that when Case is down, he's gonna be the guy to come in and just run the show, keep things afloat for the team. But the thing for me is that I think we're gonna see some of him, playing alongside Cade. And I think that's going to be very important. That's something that JB actually talked about, if I'm not mistaken. He actually said he wanted to kind of dabble with that in the playoffs to see how that looks. We saw how that looked last year with a guy like Dennis Schroeder alongside Cade, as far as just taking the pressure off and allowing Cade to get off ball and put him in the post and do different things. One thing Eric has talked about for years is put him in the post. Put that man in the post. So I think having another guard out there to run the show and to let Cade get off ball and be able to create his offense and create mismatches just off of that, as far as top of the key, 10 eyes on you. Like, I think just having Dennis out there like Schroeder last year is going to be so important, just letting Cade get off the ball. So I think because he has the opportunity to have more impact, I think he's going to have the most impact. That's kind of where I'm at with it.
I have
Especially
a
if
quick
teams play
question.
zone.
Yeah, I have a quick question with that.
Exactly. Yep.
Because
Go ahead, boss.
was it today or yesterday that you posted your playoff lineup prediction, where you posted the 10 players and then you posted 11 and 12?
I got that coming. But yeah, that was
I'm sorry.
yesterday.
I thought you
Go
did
ahead.
Yeah.
I posted it on
This
IG.
question is just more about I don't want to spoil it, but you had Karis in 11-12 range. Who do you think it's going to be more staggered if Jenkins is on the court with Cade at some times, or who's the ball handler if both of them need a rest, or do you think it's just going to be staggered?
It's probably going to be Karis at times for whenever. Yeah, I think whenever we do see Dennis and Cade, I want to say Herter, but I think it's going to be Karis.
Yeah.
If that happens, that's why I could see though a 11-man lineup at times.
Yeah, exactly.
To allow for those two to play together and then get other guys who don't play a ton of minutes, but they're still somewhat in the rotation. So that's a good question. We gotta wait and see on that. What do you think?
Yeah, and we'll get deeper into those. I don't want to spoil it for you, but it just had me thinking, because I do want to see that too. But who would be the next? So we can get to that more too later.
Okay.
So sorry about that.
Hold on, yeah. save your thought, E, because we're gonna come back to that for sure. The whole rotation, all that stuff. But I will say this, guys.
I have to hop off real quick. I'll be right back.
I will say this. I saw this yesterday, guys. This is regarding Star Thompson and Ron Holland. I saw some footage of them in practice, and I got to admit, I was pretty encouraged by what I saw. Okay, so when I saw that, I'm like, I'm not gonna overreact. It's practice. Don't mean anything. It's just them getting up shots in practice. But I think that's the first time, and you could tell me different because you're there. E. That's the first time I think I've ever seen Asar knock down 6 straight triples in any situation. Any situation.
You're 100% right.
Okay. So I'm
You're
not tripping.
100% right. Yeah, it's normally the shot is normally a lot slower, and he's not knocking down as many in a row as he just did. That was something that we don't see very often in practice.
Does it look to you like his form is different? Because he used to have it over here. There was a hitch. To me, it looks different. It looks smoother. His release point is better. To me,
Yeah.
what do you see?
Yeah, and like from what I've seen, normally when he's going through those shots, and they take those shots, those spots very often.
Right.
Normally, every time that I've been there, whenever Sar he's next up or Ron's next up, Freddie V is talking after like the first 2 shots. Like he'll come in and give them pointers on that. I've never seen Asar shoot so many, and Fred Vincent's not even talking to them.
Gotcha.
That was super rare. So in terms of the form, I mean, Ron's is getting better and better by the week. Asar again is looking a lot quicker. It didn't look like he was like hesitant at all. It looked like it was like a just quick one fluid little motion.
Yep.
And I love seeing that. Again, how much we're gonna see that in the in the postseason, we'll wait and see. But again, that progression, just seeing the mechanics and the development, that's step 1 for him, and I'm fine with that if that's where we're at in his development.
Got you. What about you, boss?
I just think it's like Camille says here, he won't make 6 3-pointers throughout the entire playoffs. I agree, but
Probably not.
What it does is give him, if he has some confidence to hit those, both of them.
Right.
I mean, I think Ron could do it, but Asar no. But
You never know. I'm not gonna count him out, but
right,
likelihood, I feel you.
I'm not gonna count him out. I'm not doing that completely, but I just think what it does is forces guys, if he can make it or does shoot those shots, it'll force guys to defend. It makes Asar have better decision making when he's in those moments. He doesn't necessarily feel like he needs to dribble it out. He's like, no, I've been here before. So what it does is just expand some options, because we talked about it in earlier. And the way he's been playing now, I'm not as opposed to it, but we were seeing our offense get the defense. We were seeing the defense from other teams make it so the last guy to grab to hold the ball is Asar.
Yeah, last one came to him.
Yes, and so you don't want that. You just want him to have a little bit more confidence wherever he is on the floor to be able to take those shots if he is the last option and hit the ball is in his hand. So he doesn't, turn it over, make a pass, a bad pass, a shot clock violation, get stuck in a corner. So I think that's just what I appreciate the most about it. Obviously, it's fun to see him just make those, but to be able to, again, have that as an option to where he feels good enough. That feels good. That's what I like about going into the postseason with that. So
I just wonder when that by y'all. It's like is it a something or nothing type thing? It caught my eye because I was waiting for the miss, and that's not shade to Asar. It's just we know he's not a great shooter right now. So I saw him. At least he looks more comfortable now. So does it translate? We gotta wait and see. But that's where it starts. Go ahead, E.
So if that looks cool too, and we talked a lot about Asar too. And if he doesn't shoot those in the playoffs, cool. Brother, you gotta knock down your free throws. You have to knock down your free throws. Again, I keep harping on this. I'm hoping teams are just stupid and don't look at the stats. I don't want them to go to a hack Asar method. I don't want to see it. He needs to be able to confidently knock down 75% of his free throws. Like it's no question, because he's active around the rim. He's still a really good offensive rebounder. He's good at slashing when he needs to and takes some right or left-handed floaters. He's gonna get his options at the free throw line. He has to be reliable from the stripe all playoff series. It's non-negotiable for him.
I agree. Yeah. And once again, that's something you have said religiously. You said if you're a wing, you got to shoot at least 70% from the line. No less, no exceptions, none of that. So I agree. You can't have any liabilities on the floor, especially when he's such a liability defensively. They may be trying to get him out, to force him out of the game in those situations when he has the ball, so that they can get to their offense. Right. So it's just like, to your point even more, you got to make sure you're available on the court, whether it's not, getting a foul trouble, whether it's knocking down your free throws, whatever. You got to make sure you're available. And I think that's a great point you make, bro, for sure. That's a really good point. All right, guys, let's keep pushing. Boss gave us a little bit of a appetizer with this next topic, but we're going to get to this now. It's all good. So, guys, yesterday I posted my Pistons playoff rotation. It's a prediction. Maybe it's more so what I want to see, honestly, than a prediction. But I just want to run it by you guys and chat you too, as far as what you guys think we may see as far as the Pistons rotation. So here is what I settled on as far as the rotation for the playoffs. It may be less, it may be more, but just looking at what we see here. So Cade at the 1, Dunk at the 2, Asar at the 3, Tobias at the 4, GD at the 5. Obviously, as far as my bench rotation, I've got Danis off the bench at the 1, Kevin Huerter at the 2, Ron at the 3, Javante at the 4, Stu at the 5, and then mixed in there for certain situations like foul trouble, etc. I have, or for having ball handling when Danis is playing with Cade, like we talked about, I've got LeVert, and then I've got Paul Reed for the same reason for the front court. So, guys, what are your thoughts on this? Like as far as what you want to see, as far as what you think we'll see, whatever. What are you guys' thoughts on this rotation and how it might play out come playoff time based on what you see? I'll come to you first, boss. What do you got?
So I definitely want to see a 12-man. I've been saying this. I don't want to collapse to a 10-man because I feel like it just puts a lid. It puts us in a box when we don't need to be in a box. So I do want to see that. I like this lineup. I'm not mad at it. I have a feeling that it's LeVert over Wu in the 10. I think that Wu will, and I just think that's just the way they're going to roll. We've seen Huerter and LeVert come off the bench together pretty lately, and honestly, LeVert has since there was kind of a shooting guard, what's the word? Tournament, basically a shooting guard like between
competition
Huerter,
between them.
Competition between Huerter and Sass and LeVert. They were all doing very well at that position. Then Sass got injured. We didn't see him much. Then we saw him had to be moved to the point guard with the Jenkins and Cade injury. So I think LeVert and Huerter have been. I really liked what I've seen from Huerter, but LeVert has definitely been like if he was playing like this all season, I think we would be feeling a little bit differently about him. But he's definitely stepped up, especially when he said that him and JB. This is like why he's here to step up. But so I just think as much as I want all these guys to get minutes that are on here. I hope that they do it a little bit more like it's per, who we're competing against, who we're playing against. I hope they run the full 12. But if they ran a 10, I still think they put in Karras over Wu in terms of minutes. Like I think Wu's still going to get minutes just like he has been. Yeah. But I think that's where it is. And I do think that Ron gets more minutes over Wu as well. So and then Huerter is there too. So that's how I see it. But yeah. Mm-hmm.
So basically you would just shift Huerter in Holland over to the 3-4 and put LeVert at the 2 is kind of what you're saying as far as the rotation. That's because LeVert wouldn't play the 4. So you just have Huerter go to the 3.
Yeah, or I could see we've seen Huerter and LeVert in with Wu. So then it'd be. I think that's why they're going to play around with it a little bit. Is that maybe then Ron's minutes, like Ron's not in that lineup, but he's in other lineups to still get to his 15 minutes a game. And like I said, that's why I want to run with the 12, and I want to run to give these guys breaks. Like obviously continuity is huge, and we see a lot of teams shorten up their lineups, but we also see teams try. So I just think the most minutes. I think Karras will average more minutes than Wu, but I can also I think it'll be some games it's him, and some games it's Wu. And if we need offense, versus defense, Huerter's been great on both ends. We're just so deep; it's just so hard to pick. So I'm not mad at this at all. I agree. This is kind of maybe what I would pick if we were going, but I could just see. I don't see LeVert kind of being pushed out of the playoff lineup.
That's fair. That's fair. Okay. What you got, E? What do you think?
I just saw something in the chat, and I didn't even know this was true. Before I get to my thing, someone said Kevin Durant got an injured knee and is questionable for Game 1.
Whoa. Okay, let's put a pause on this and talk about that for a quick second.
That's crazy.
That can change the whole trajectory of that series.
Right knee contusion.
But Nuggets
if he's out. Well, yeah. Well, before they get there, if he's out, the Lakers could probably will win that series. Because now you don't have anybody who's a true veteran who can beat the guy.
I disagray. I think it still would be. I think the Lakers beat them. We'll get there. I don't. Not with
no point guard and no KD.
But with Şengün and a man that can do both ends, and I don't know. We hate him here, but Reed Shepherd has been popping off in certain instances. I know, but I hope it's fine. I want a KD LeBron.
Right. I do too. Of course. I do too. Even if that means LeBron loses, I want to see them play each other again.
Right.
For sure.
Right.
In the playoff. Maybe the last time. So
yeah, Nuggets.
Thanks for letting us know about that, guys, in the chat. And
for sure.
putting us on that because I didn't even see that. That's crazy.
I just caught it. But yeah, back to the point.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
pull it back up for you.
I agree with Sarah 100%. I think I think JB just loves him some Karis LeVert. We did see a lot of no, I won't say a lot. We did see better reps from Karis like towards the second half of the year, where he was a lot more aggressive as a scorer and a creator,
Yep.
even off ball as well. Like Cade was doing a good job, and Danish was doing a good job of setting him up for some open look threes, and he was knocking him down consistently. I mean, Wu has done that as well. But Karis, I think is just a little bit better of a creator himself when he's not dribbling too much. And I think he's still an underrated defender as
agree.
well that can help them play in transition.
Nice.
So yeah, I believe it's gonna be Karis, that is probably getting a few more minutes than Wu. But yeah, I still agree with Sarah. I think there's a world that exists where I truly believe JB is going to try to lean on at least 11 guys. I don't think he's going to shrink it down to like how other teams do of, we had to play 10 or, maybe we're going to go to 9. I think he wants to try to use some Paul Reed minutes. I think there could be a world that exists where we see Stu or Duran in foul trouble early or maybe Tobias early, and then they have to go to, B-ball Paul, or they, go to the depth that they have at the wings to try to spread out and make them play in small ball lineups to spread things out with shooters a little bit better. So, I think it's an absolute possibility that we see an 11-man rotation, and I think it could work for this team, especially knowing that they've done a good job of mixing and matching these rotations too. It's not like when we see Herter or Holland, like JB's not always consistent with how these guys are played and thrown in. He says, all right, you playing with him now. Go make something happen. Like, okay, you may be comfortable with him, but we need you here with him. So go make something happen. Do what you need to do. And they've gotten comfortable and better of doing that as the season went on. So, it's going to be really interesting. I think this is the biggest question mark that they have in the playoffs, what their rotation is going to look like. But I think the way that they've played playoff basketball really throughout the entire regular season and have gotten better up to this point, I think that serves them as an advantage regardless of who they played against in the playoffs.
Yeah, it gives them some unpredictability too, as far as not it's game to game. They can make adjustments to their adjustments. Okay, that was nice, that was cute. Now we're gonna give you this. So that's definitely the case for sure too. I know. Yeah, this game is a wrap. So we'll see. So guys, let's revisit some of our predictions of the play-in so far. It's been fun. It's been a lot of fun. It's been shaky for all of us, if we're being honest. It's been
I'm about to go over 50%. I'm about to go 3 of 5.
Yeah, that makes one of us for sure. That makes one of us for sure. We'll see what happens with the other game, but let's just run through it real quick. So first game, the Hornets beat the Heat in the thriller, 127-126. Me, Eric, and I think King picked the Hornets in that one. The Blazers beat the Suns 114-110, and Boss was the only one who picked the Blazers for that one. The Sixers beat the Magic 109-97, and Boss and I had the Sixers. And then the Dubs made all of us look silly and beat the Clippers 126-121, which was crazy. So, Boss, you are currently 2 for 4 as of right now, as you humbly
you are as well.
For not for long. We're both 2 and 4. Right now, 2 for 4. E is 1 for 3, and nobody is batting 1,000. So,
and I will say,
brackets all kind of busted right now, bro.
I'm also the only one. We'll do a future one. I'm also the only one who picks the Suns.
Yeah, later.
Yeah,
against the Dubs. Yeah, so that should be interesting too.
Oh yeah, no, I didn't pick them.
So I got a chance to catch up to Boss for sure, because she about to sweep with this one. She about to run away with this one. So we'll see. So we'll see how that plays out, man. It's gonna be interesting to see how that plays out. Okay, guys, let's get to it looks like we've been playing the Magic now. So let's just kind of look ahead to that matchup. I mean, the Hornets right now are struggling to keep it under 30. Like, it's crazy. I saw somebody say,
you ready? You want to talk about it? We should we'll go ahead to Magic,
let's do both.
Exactly.
Do both.
We still got it. There's a chance.
Let's lead with the Magic, because it looks like we might be playing them right now. Before we do that though, oh my. Oh, it might that sounds like cap to me. That sounds like some captivity to me. But I'll leave that alone for now. Let's get Dom back in here. He says, well, what's more likely in the playoffs? Asar shooting 70% from the line, or Ron shooting 35% from 3? Ooh.
That's equal. That's equal to me.
No, people got to pick one. That's a tough one. That's a very good question.
What's more likely?
More likely.
I'm saying Asar.
I'm saying Ron.
I'm saying Ron.
Rasar
I'm saying Ron.
I ain't seen enough. Again, even with the shooting motion looking better, in fact, he changes his free throws a lot. Like, his motion of his free throws change a lot. And I just haven't seen the consistency. Like, bro,
But
it's
this
just
will be his first major minutes in a playoff series. You don't think that there's a little bit of hesitation, a little bit of nerves there to impact it?
I don't.
yeah. But I mean, what you
I
mean for
don't.
Ron or for Asar?
For Ron, Asar's
don't.
been what he played major minutes last year. He's been through it a little bit already. So
Ron
I don't
seems,
think Ron is. Go ahead, bro. Get it out.
Sorry, yeah, Ron just don't seem fearful of anything. So
Yeah.
even if he is
Yeah.
missing a bunch, he's gonna keep going and going and going and shooting until he gets it right. So just on that alone, because it's possible he could maybe go 0-15 for the. I have no idea, but based on what his confidence looks like and knowing how he plays the game, I don't think that. I just looked at him a little more favorably in this kind of a discussion for sure.
It seems like he figured some things out the last couple weeks.
Yeah.
I saw him go 3 for 4, 3 for 5, 2 for 4 and 5. So if that can carry over, that to me is what's kind of having leaning in his direction. I'm not saying Asar can't shoot 70%. I think he can. He can if he really commits to it. I think he is, obviously, but I think he has the ability to do it in this playoffs for sure. But once again, the confidence that Ron has, I think he's gonna be put in spots to where he's taking good shots, and I think he's gonna let it fly. So I would say between the two by a hair, I would go with Ron because I do have confidence in Ron's ability to knock down shots.
I think Ron is the biggest swing player on this roster. What his development does, especially in this playoff run, can decide a lot in terms of what they do for roster building in the future. So if we see him, if we see this confidence that we saw from 3-point shooting over the last 2-3 weeks, if that continues in the playoffs and that keeps going into his third season, that's going to change a lot in terms of what the Trajan decides to do and how guys they want to bring in. Like, all right, we could go get for a star, but Ron showed us a lot in this stretch here. We know he's a great defender. He showed a lot more confidence in terms of creating his own shots from mid-range, playing catch and shoot basketball, and obviously he's always going to be able to crash the glass and score in transition. But I think he is the biggest swing player that can change what direction they decide to go in terms of what the roster can look like.
Agreed. And I was about to say, because when you think of who comes off the bench for a star, the first one you think of is Ron, and that's who it is for me. It's just more about him also staying out of foul trouble a little bit. And if he can do that, then he's a clear choice to come off the bench for me. Otherwise, I could also see Karras, and then Wu, of course, too. But I could see him, Karras coming in for both sides as well. But I do agree. Like for me, like I said, I think this is equal. I think that they both can hit this.
Great question.
So, but I think with Ron, if he continues the 3-point shooting that he's been having, that will be probably one of the best, surprises to the end of this season for me. One of the best, things that makes me most excited because he has been, hitting 2 or 3 threes a game at good efficiency. And I'm not saying that it won't. I'm just, trying to give him a little bit of the, like you said, his confidence. But a lot of these rookies still out here are confident, but not able to make it work. But I would put Ron above. He's not a rookie, but it's his second season. Would be his first major minutes. I think the minute he sees one go down, it's over.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah,
That's all he needs.
That's all he needs. Yeah. So we'll see. Great question, Don, for sure. All right, guys. The score is 79-50. Like I said, the Hornets are struggling to keep it below 30. Like it's looking spooky. It's looking spooky, man. It's not pretty at all right now. Ron gonna be short at least in playoffs. All right, guys, let's keep pushing, man. Let's do this. So speaking of the playoffs, right? Earlier today, JB, Bickerstaff, Cade, and JD all spoke on the playoffs and what they are expecting and what to look for. So let's go ahead and check that out.
I think we've been getting good work in, staying in shape, staying ready. It's tough to take a week off and then come right back and play. So I think it's been good that we've been in here every day, getting up and down, and staying sharp.
Watched all of them. Been really good basketball, for sure. East and West. I've enjoyed watching the games, seeing the atmosphere each game has, and the amount of pressure on both teams. It's fun. Obviously, not knowing who we play, you have to keep a wide, broad view on everything and make sure that we're locked in on what we have to do to be our best versions of ourselves. We'll find out tonight who we play, and we've already prepared for both of the teams. So, tomorrow we'll come in and really lock in on details of whatever team it is that we do play.
The Hornets have a lot of shooting, a lot of guys that can create their own shot. They play at tempo that puts a lot of pressure on your defense. Orlando has, big physical guys that get to the free throw line a ton, that put a ton of stress on your paint, whether it's in drives or offensive rebounding. and then they use that size and length on the defensive end of the floor as well to be physical with you, to pressure you, pick you up, and make it difficult.
How motivated and hungry you are to help this team advance in the playoffs. It's been a long time.
I think you know the answer to that. I'm excited. I'm excited to get out there. I'm excited to see the city, get our first home win since I've been here. It's a lot to be excited about. Watching these games this last week, it's getting me anxious. I'm just fired up, man. I watched the intros for our team last year, and I'm just fired up, man. It's gonna be fun.
Yeah, the way we were all smiling right now, I thought he was smiling when he was asked that question.
Fire, such a good answer.
That was the only time he started cheesing. When he was asked about playing in front of the hometown fans. He didn't really crack a smile talking about the bonus he's probably gonna get being all NBA. He didn't use all business.
care.
When it came right, exactly. When it came to basketball and playing here for the first time, you saw the wide grin. So what are you guys' thoughts on anything that you guys heard there from Coach, from JD, from Cade? I personally, to kick it off, I liked how JB contrasted the styles between the Hornets and the Magic. The Hornets are more of a nest team. They like to shoot. They're kind of like Boston Light as far as how they play, just don't have the defense yet. And I think with the Magic, they're just a bruising team. They're a big team. I think what the Magic are doing to the Hornets right now is what you would see often if the Pistons played the Hornets, as far as just being able to just dominate them with their physicality. I think that would be what we would have seen. But obviously, we got the Magic now, looks like. But what are you guys' thoughts on what you heard from any of those three guys?
I'll just say real quick, because I know Eric, actually got to ask the questions and was there for the most of it too. But I love what I heard. I think the thing that stuck out the most to me too was the contrast, because it tells me that they're preparing themselves for both teams. And they're probably a little bit like me. Like, you can't. There's still plenty of time left of the game. It would take a huge momentum shift. But even Deuce has seen me doubt. He's been like, "Well, this is over," and then they tend to come back a little bit. But I do think this is over. But anyways, I think the biggest thing for me is also just JD talking about how having a week off and being active and everything is still huge, because that's kind of my biggest fear going in. Is I think it's just being a Detroit fan and understanding that the Lions play awful after a bye week. Like, just like some things are just, and like whatever team we face is going to be a little bit more warmed up. They've already had, they already won 2 in a row to get here. They're going to be amped. They're going to be fired up. So I'm a little bit like, I'm a little bit nervous about that, but the way that they're talking has gotten me very much excited for, just how they're approaching the game too. Cade wants to get a home win for the team. Obviously, I want to be in the building for that. We all do. Yeah. So I like their mindsets, and that they're working hard, and that they're not counting anyone out, and that they're talking about, it's none of this like, oh no, we want this team, that's why we mess with standings, or we want this, or we prefer this. It's more just like, no, like, let me highlight the strengths of each team, and I'll tell you what that just tells me that they're working on slowing those teams down in those areas. So yeah,
and by the way, boss, that frown that you saw E put up wasn't for you.
I was gonna say,
what it was for. You know what it was for.
I know exactly what it was for.
Zion, you better stop, bro. You better cut it out, Zion.
Am I wrong? Like,
no, you're good. Did you see? No, you're okay, Sarah. That's what it's for. It was for this comment right here. Y'all know what Drake does to sports teams. Keep Drake away from the Detroit sports anything. Drake curses all teams, so that's a terrible sign. I'm yelling now that I'm so frustrated about that. No, I hated seeing that.
I figured it wasn't for me, but I was like, did I get that stat wrong? I was like, is that just? Sometimes I imagine things. Like I said, that's why when I pick teams, I have to go back it up with some logic, because I'm like, am I just imagining this? But
no. I'm yelling now. You sound like Rick from Anchorman 2. I was outside.
You good. I will never yell over these concerns.
But I am excited for the playoff atmosphere, and I feel like Cade said, watching last year's hype videos got him hyped again. So I'm just so excited for what we bring on Sunday to keep them hyped, and that's what helps me. Kind of calm those nerves of like, we've been off for so long,
right? Like,
is that going to impact it when the Magic are now all warm and they've won two games to get here, and they feel good and confident? But that's kind of where I'm at with that.
I agree with that. Sorry for the distraction, guys. E is easily triggered.
I need to play Not Like Us just to get that out of my head now. I'm sick of that.
Anything
Zion.
anything that starts with a D and ends with a Rake or
I
Eric
swear.
White is what we need to keep Eric away from.
Lord.
Breaking the Derricks.
Oh man. Okay, guys. So as far as this Magic series that looks like it's about to happen, how many games? How many games does it go to Pistons? You see it going 4, you see it going 5. I originally said 4. I'm gonna give them a game. I'm gonna say 5.
They showed up tonight. And like I said too, as I read before guys, I take my bets very seriously, again, like I said. And so before I picked my stuff tonight, I originally went with Hornets and I was like, this makes me feel icky. I'm not gonna go for Hornets because everyone else is. So I go with Magic. And I read a piece that they wrote about one of the Magic reporters wrote and how they talked to Bane and stuff. And they were just like, we want to set the tone early. And none of us want to come off that court, at least, like, no matter what happens tonight, like, we don't want to come off the court saying that we didn't give it our all. And that's kind of what they've shown tonight. And I think that now that they're in it, it's not going to be easy, but there is going to be a game where maybe that they all are at 100%. But still, the theme of their season has been dysfunction and continuity and not reliable on either end. So I that's why I will give them, I'd give them 1.
Okay.
2.
Devin says Pistons in 5. Come on, man. Ian says Pistons in 7. E, you say what?
I'm gonna say 6.
Okay.
And the only reason I'm gonna say 6 is because Franz Wagner is playing. He's been hurt for, if I'm not mistaken, through a good chunk of the regular season games.
This is his first non-minutes restriction since that injury.
Right, and he plays the Pistons really well. Now, granted, I think they have the bodies to, limit him, but he's not a pushover in any way, shape, or form.
He's not.
I like the depth that they have. Somebody else there's 2 guys that really, I don't say worry me, but I think they can change the scale of what this series looks like. Okay. It's Jalen Suggs and De Silva. I think De Silva is a really good connector of that basketball team. Really underrated. He can defend. He moves well without the ball. Super good shooter. I think he's very dangerous if the Pistons don't do a good job of rotating and contesting on 3-point shots. And Jalen Suggs, we've seen him take a step forward in some of his offensive output as a scorer and as a shooter, even as a creator as well. Like, I didn't even know he had that in his bag. Yeah, and he's also a really good defender. He always has been since college. That's true. If Anthony Black is, stepping up and playing well, he's healthy now as well. We saw him play really good in the first half of the year. And if Paolo is not playing, his fake Carmelo Anthony impression, he's playing more like Pistons Blake Griffin, which he should be, it could be a little bit more of an interesting series. Now, granted, I do think the Pistons can win. If everything goes right, this should be a 5-game series, but I'm not going to sleep on Orlando too much. I do think they still have some talent. They do have bodies to kind of contend and, push around to be physical in the front court and in the back court. So, again, Cade is obviously the best player in this series, but I do think there's a lot of talent within Orlando, and I think the Pistons should be very focused on what they do have. I think it'll be a 6-game series.
I just want to say real quick, my mom texted me, I am with E on 6.
Okay. The Magic tonight.
And I have to say, guys, too, I sent them in the group chat, too. My mom picked the Magic yesterday. She said, we're playing. Wow. She straight up, she said, we are playing the Magic. She's like, I don't know why. It's just a gut feeling.
She doing better than me. Shout out to Mama Boss.
Her favorite players are Jenkins and Stu. I'm like, okay.
I'm a fan.
You're tapped
Pound Boss.
She's good with me. She is good with me. That's all I need to hear.
Just had to say that because she does agree with you here. So
yeah, for sure. Okay, so we'll see how that works out, guys. I am kind of bummed out though, guys, that we are not seeing the Charlotte Hornets. And it may not be for a reason that you guys think. I was looking forward to, if the bright spot for me, if they were to win a game, was hopefully when they pan to the audience, we might have got a chance to see this. Bro, they showed my man's after that Philly game. I'm like, bro, what's going on in Charlotte, bro? What y'all on over there, bro?
I was having a mad serious conversation with my dad, and he just sees this Wade Brady dude busting it out in the crowd. He's like, what the hell is he on? It just derailed our whole conversation. No, that was the funniest thing of the night. Oh my God.
You had me dead, bro, because we did the same, bro, guys. He hit me up and was like, bro, I saw that because I posted
the day after. Yeah.
The day after, he hit me like, bro, I'm spending an inordinate amount of time just thinking about songs in my head that I see this dude dancing to. I was doing the same thing, bro. That's why I had this graphic ready. That's
Oh
why
my
I had it
God.
ready, bro.
I put on that dude, the baby song.
my
I was put
God,
on some
dog.
wild stuff, and he was just.
Real quick though, I do want to
Me
say
out, bro.
that was awesome. But I do want to say, just I looked up some stats real quick while we continue this conversation, that the Pistons are 2-2 with the Magic this season. Okay.
Yeah.
Point differential. The Pistons have won both their games by 33 points total. And the Magic, they won the game in early April when we were pretty injured and we were kind of resting some people too. They won by 16. And then the game earlier in the season, they won by 3. So their point differential is 19. So I just want to point that out. They're like, yes, we're 2-2 against them. They are one of our harder matchups. The Magic, Hawks, and Heat have always been kind of a tough matchup for us the past few years. So they are a little bit tougher there. We did, we're able to win against the Hornets with, I think, an average of 16 points this season. But I just want to point that out too, because that just kind of goes into show where we're getting numbers like 5 and 6 as well. So go ahead, Eric.
One more thing to remember. The last game that they did win, where Paolo had a really good game, who wasn't on the floor for the Pistons? His daddy, Tobias Harris, didn't play that game.
Yeah, that's what
Tobias been giving him belt for the past 2 years. And the last game he played, Tobias was nowhere on the floor. So Tobias was sitting in the hyperbolic time chamber ready. Oh, you feeling good? You feeling good now?
Magic,
Okay.
right?
I got something for you.
That's a good
Tobias
point.
was on the Magic, right?
Yeah, he played for the Magic.
You said what? He did.
Tobias,
I love Tobias when he was on the Magic.
But that's like when he plays his former team. That's why I said Tobias earlier, and I saw the comments too. Like Tobias might be dropping triple doubles every game. Like he goes off against his former teams.
And he's been yapping. Like Paolo's been yapping. Yeah. The game that he did play, we saw Tobias go off. I think that may have been like around the time of the birth of Vaselli. Like because we didn't see him really getting petty like that until I think after that game when Paolo at the line was talking smack, whatever. Tobias said, okay, I got something for that. And he went off after
Torched him the whole second half.
Yeah, that was their largest lead, and it was Bane too, hitting his threes. Tristan De Silva, we talked about too, because I remember saying like I think he has like voodoo eyes.
Suggs went crazy
don't look into him. Don't look into him. But and Suggs as well. So they just have players like Suggs and Bane who give us the most problems. And then Bankero, Franz, and Franz does do well against us, and we'll just see if he's at his normal rate again. But Bankero, Franz, and Anthony Black can just have their big moments. Anthony Black has fallen off a little bit, though. And as you guys can see from this game and even last game, Mo Wagner has fallen out of the lineup. I wonder if they bring him back in against us, because he doesn't do terrible against us. He's a talker. He can get under skin. They might bring him in to agitate. But he's not out there. So
and they don't have Jonathan Isaac too, so they're gonna need.
He demanded a trade.
Oh, Jonathan Isaac, no, I'll fill you guys.
Demanded a trade. It's crazy.
No. Yeah, he demanded a trade, and
I think
I'll tell you about it.
Oh, okay.
I think Anthony Black's gonna be solid next series. We've had his player development coach Charles Hill. Shout out to Charles Hill, who actually is the same player development coach for Ron Holland. He's talked about his work with him and how he's made some strides this year. So I think he could be somebody to keep an eye on as well. I know you mentioned his minutes got cut a little bit. We'll see how that looks against the Pistons, but I think he may be somebody to keep an eye on. Fatkism said, Deuce Jr., bro, look alike. Rewatch. Yeah, I know, bro. As we get older, I think we look more and more alike. Hope that's a good thing. Shout out to my brother, man. Popped up yesterday for sure. E, you had a look of surprise on your face. What's up?
Nothing. Really, what Dog said on the you and your bro look alike, I thought he was talking about the dude dancing in the crowd. That's what I thought he was saying. You looked alike. I'm like, hey, bro, you gotta fight him, bro. Don't take that. No, dudes, come back. No, that's what I thought he was talking about. I'm like, you gotta fight him, bro. Get it, shout it.
You gotta things I do for y'all, man.
Snap, bro. I gotta see that on Sunday. I gotta see it.
We can bring it on.
I'm not doing that.
Let him dance with the dancing usher.
Yeah,
I got you on that. You know I can do that.
Yes.
If I lose the bet, if I have the worst of the results between the three of us with our picks, I will do that. Y'all know I do. Y'all know.
Y'all heard it. Let's go.
We gotta figure something out for these two. For these two stooges over here, though. We gotta figure something out for y'all.
No, the Suns,
I don't know. We need.
I'll pretend to like Drake for 20 minutes. How about that?
You gotta. Okay, so you gotta have something OVO on, and you gotta have a Derek White jersey on.
Oh my God! You want me in my worst?
That's the equivalent to this, bro. Whatever this is, that's the equivalent. You gotta come hard, bro.
I'll see what I can do.
Oh man, that's funny. All right, guys, let's move on to our last topic of the night. This game is pretty much over. The next game is the Suns and Warriors. That's coming up next. But I wanted to get to brackets, guys. I want to take a look at the bracket and see what you guys think may actually happen as far as with the brackets. So we know that. Let me pull it up here so we can actually see what's going on. Do I still have it? I think I still have it. Yeah, I got it. Okay. So yeah, guys, I'm still torn. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. I'm still torn with my picks. I don't know how it's gonna play out after what's happened already. I have even less confidence in my picks, but we're gonna pull it up anyway. So let's see if I can get this right. There we go. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So guys, here is the bracket. Can you guys see that? Is it clear for you guys? Let me see if I can zoom out.
Just scroll down a little bit.
Yeah, I can't see the 2-7.
Okay, I got you. Hold
see
on. All right. But yeah, how do you guys think it's gonna play out? Let's start with the East, obviously. Is that better? Okay, let's start with the East. So obviously, looks like the Magic are going to be facing the Pistons in the first round. We already know 5 or 6 games, I think, is the consensus there for that. Cavaliers, Raptors, guys. How do you see who moves on? How many games?
That's my upset one. I pick the Raptors, and I wouldn't be. It's a hard one because I wouldn't be surprised if Cavs moved on. It's definitely not going to be a sweep. Yeah. But I think the Raptors have. While Mitchell and I just think that I told you this, Deuce. I think while Mitchell and Harden definitely are desperate to win some rings, their egos have been strong for like 6 weeks. They were playing the standings game 6 weeks ago. I don't want to hear that. The Raptors are a young, fun team who know what they can do. They can turn it on. And I just watched the Pacers almost beat the Cavs. They were without their big guys, but why are you letting the Pacers outshoot threes when you have Donovan Mitchell and James Harden? So I just think there's a little bit of I think the Cavs themselves are going to come into the series a little bit egotistical. They're just walking around with egos. So the Raptors is my upset. So I'm going to pick the Raptors, but again, that's a hard one. I'm going to pick them. So
okay. And how many games you say, boss, for the Raptors?
Man, it'd be a 6 or 7 game series.
So, okay. Yeah. Okay. E, what about you? Raptors, Cavs. Who you got in that series?
I'm sorry.
What's up?
Chatting going crazy. I got to say Family Matters word for word. You know how disgusted I would be with myself if I had to do that? Oh my God.
Ooh, that's probably worse than
that would be so disgusting. And I know the song too. Ugh.
I'm taking notes.
God, drop. Ugh. Okay. Let me focus. Let me focus.
Go ahead.
I could possibly see the Raptors upsetting, but I'm going to go with the Cavaliers. I don't know if they have anybody. I mean, unless maybe Scotty Barnes is guarding Donovan Mitchell the whole game. I still like the depth of the Cavaliers, and I don't know if I trust the scoring output of the Raptors for a 7-game series. I think this could be a good series. I think it could maybe go 6-7 games, but I think I'm going to go with the Cavs on this one.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. How many games you say?
I'll go 6. I'll say 6 games.
I got Cavs in 6. I think the Raptors are going to make it a very competitive series. Very young team, very physical team. I think that can bother the Cavs. I just think the Raptors lack the experience that they need in the playoffs. Right. They only have a lot of guys who've had deep runs so far. And I think when you got a James Harden, even though the Cavs have kind of changed their identity with that trade, I think there's something to be said. I know James Harden hasn't been great in the playoffs, but I think him being the second guy instead of the first guy is going to help him playing alongside Donovan Mitchell. So I think they have enough with Mobley and Allen, who I hope we see at some point. If we can get them, we would dominate them in the paint. But I think they have enough experience to be able to beat the Raptors in that series. I have them in 6 as well. So
yeah, and if Aubrey is sitting in the front row with frozen Diddy seats again, they stand no chance. It might go to 5 games. So next series.
Oh man.
All right, bet it up. Let's go Knicks, Hawks. I'll come to you first, E, this time.
I cannot wait for this series. I'm so excited for this series. I'm gonna go 7 games, but I swear I think the Hawks are winning this series. I don't trust the Knicks at all. I think they know that there's pressure on them. I think they understand where their weaknesses are. Like they thought that they were a good defensive team, but I think Cade and a lot of other teams have put guys like Mikal Bridges on blast, guys like OG Anunoby, who's a good defender, but I don't think he's going to be enough by himself. I think Alvarado is cool, but I don't think they have enough on the perimeter, especially if those guys that they're going to be guarding, especially the scorers that Atlanta has. If they get into the teeth of the defense in the paint, that's going to be a problem for them. I don't trust Mitch Robinson to be able to stay on the floor, being one of the worst shooters in basketball. Cat is soft as they come. I just don't think this is a good matchup for them at all. I think Jalen Johnson can have his way as a triple-double threat waiting to happen. I think Nickeil Alexander-Walker is going to be fantastic. And CJ McCollum still remains a piston killer and one of the most underrated players in basketball still. I love this matchup for the Hawks. I think they're going to get them in 7 games.
Okay.
I like it. Boss, holla at me.
As much as I want the Hawks, I think that they're a fantastic team, that they can beat them. I think it's going to be the Knicks in 6 or 7. And the reason why is because I think that they could be more dominant in the paint than some of the Hawks. And I think that Cat, even though I don't buy it at all, he can draw fouls. He can do those things. He can turn it on. I think what it comes down to a little bit right now is just the playoff experience of the Knicks. I think that's all it is. And it is not even like it's Brunson. It is Mikal. It is Josh Hart. It is OG Anunoby. Like, it's just the fact that they can get it done. It's not going to be easy. I asked this question the other night, and Eric, I'll ask it again to you. I asked if we are the Hawks or the harder 6 seed. Us last year against the Knicks, or the Hawks this year against the Knicks are the harder one.
Great question, ain't it?
And it's tough because last year we took them to 6 and 6 points differential total. The Hawks but that's like, I think it would go to like a 7-game series, but it would just be a little bit of that. They had a playoff run, and not only have a lot of these guys had playoff experience, but they've had playoff experience with each other. And so that's what, as much as I would love to see the Hawks win, and just like someone said to you, just like I said earlier, I pick Raptors, but not going to be shocked at all if it's Cavs. And then I pick Knicks, but wouldn't be shocked at all if it's Hawks. It's good matchups. I do think the Knicks in the last games pull it together enough to eke it out. So
I'm gonna say Hawks in 7.
Ooh, okay.
I'm gonna say Hawks in 7 because that was a great question you asked about who's better between us last year and them this year. It's kind of hard to say, because they, they have vets on their team who have been in the playoffs before. Like, we had vets on our team who have been in the playoffs.
The Hawks, who?
Year. They have Nickeil Alexander-Walker.
CJ McCollum.
He's got experience with the Timberwolves. You've got CJ McCollum with the Blazers. He's been there before with Dame. So they have guys who have been their core, their young talent hasn't really been there, which is kind of like us last year. We had Tobias Harris, Tim Hardaway Jr., but our young guys hadn't been there. So I think it's a very good question. I don't think there's a wrong answer. It's hard to really know until we see it, until we see how they look in that first game, how they adjust to New York's adjustments. I do wonder about the size advantage. It's because I think Okongwu and Jack Landale are their bigs, right? Atlanta. So I do worry about that. But I think the perimeter defense on guys like Jalen Brunson and Miles or Bridges, Mikal Bridges and Anunoby, I think they're going to give them some problems. The Dyson Daniels and Jalen Johnson going toe-to-toe those guys.
I forgot
and
about
I think,
Dyson
like you
Daniels.
mentioned, Nickeil Alexander-Walker is going to he's going to be balling. So I think that's going to go 7. And I think I could see the Hawks upsetting them on the road in game 7. I really could see that. So that's what I'm going to go with.
The battle of the benches as well. Hart, he comes off the bench now, doesn't he? Or he might still be in the starting lineup. They adjusted it a little bit.
I think he still starts.
I think he still starts. Yeah.
They have Deuce McBride.
Shamet, Miles McBride. They have another big, what's his name? Well, there's Mitchell Robinson, of course. But then they have another guy who's kind of big, and they've been buying him in a lot. He's young because Alvarado's there. They have Clarkson, but he lost his spot basically to Alvarado. I just saw them a few weeks ago in Denver. So there's another one. It starts with like a D. I don't know if you guys remember who he is, but he's a nice spark for them. I'll have to look it up real quick. But who can you guys name off the top of your head off the Hawks bench?
Jonathan Kuminga has to play a huge role.
There you go.
Yeah.
Kuminga,
True.
bro.
I totally forgot about him. And I think this is a team where he can have his way. Again, knowing how soft the Knicks are in their front court, I think he can have a huge Diawara, yep, that's his name.
Okay.
But no,
Yeah,
yeah, I
he'll
think
match up nice with the Hawks. Is all I'm
yeah,
saying.
no, I think Kuminga could be a huge game breaker for this series for them, 100%.
Yep. I think
Okay.
Buddy Hield could too, bro.
Who
Don't
are
forget
their
Buddy Hield's
bigs?
over there now.
I forgot
as
Buddy
a
Hield's
shooter
over there, man.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, who are the Hawks
Corey
bigs?
Kispert's still over there. He's solid. So
It's
they got
Capella,
some
right?
guys. They got some guys. I think they can match them bench for bench. I just, we'll see.
Well,
It's gonna be
their
fun
bigs.
to see.
They have Okongwu, who I do like, and then they have, I think it's not Capella, it's Koloko. So they have a couple bigs, but the New York bigs are better. So it's going to be
Yeah,
a
their
fun
bigs are better.
series. It's going to be fun.
I think the Hawks bigs, they don't have as much of a responsibility as what Cat has to do. Cat can score a lot, that's fine. But you're going to have to rebound and play some defense. And I don't think that's going to be, scoring is not going to be enough for him. He's going to have to do all the box checking for them. I think all the Hawks have to do is contest at the rim and play defense. That's all they have to do. They don't have to do as much as Cat does.
Mitchell Robinson, though, will get second chance opportunities for the team as well.
That's true. Yeah, I send him to the free throw line every time he checks.
Oh,
every
yeah.
single time.
Oh, yeah.
Every single time.
True.
Yep.
Yeah.
Bring
It's
Cat
gonna be
back out
fun.
and play your five for sure.
Yes, it's gonna be fun, man. That's gonna be a fun series for sure. Okay, let's keep pushing. We got Celtics Sixers. That is going to be a good series, I think. I think it's not as entertaining, I don't think, as the Hawks Knicks. But thoughts on that, guys? Who do you guys have in that series? I'll come to you first, boss. Celtics Sixers. Who do you got? How many games?
Yeah, because I gotta take another break. I don't know how you guys aren't you guys don't stay hydrated throughout the day or something, but
I need another
There you go.
Gatorade.
But I would say that one's hard for me because if it was like Maxey and so Tatum and Brown are obviously a deadly duo. Maxey is deadly in himself, and he's finding that deadly duo with Paul George. If they had Embiid this round, I would pick the Sixers, to be honest, because Derek White's 3-shot has fallen off. Pritchard is still there, but he's the size the Sixers have an advantage over. BJ Edgecombe's not going to be afraid of any of these people.
Nope.
Kada has really stepped up. We got to see the home
him.
opener, where we saw them against Boston, and we were like, who is this Kada guy? Like, whatever. Like, they're going to, and he's really stepped up, so I still think he's going to be a factor. But Drummond really showed stuff. I remember because Eric picked he picked the Magic to advance over the Sixers, and I think the last thing I said to him was just like, "Remember, Drummond can shoot threes now." And then he
closed the game that way, right?
He did,
and then just kind of helped seal the deal. But and so Drummond, I think, is playing with a sort of intensity. He's trying to keep. He's playing like we want to make it to the next round to get Embiid back in. It's kind of how they're playing. Man, it could be another upset, but I will still pick the Celtics, but I think it's going to be the Celtics in 6 or 7, not like the Celtics versus anybody else that could have come out of the play-in. Anyone else, I would have said 4 or 5. But against the Sixers and the way that they're playing right now, and who I know Maxey can be, he had kind of one of his more off games. And if Paul George stays consistent in this midi, it's going to be tougher for the Celtics to eliminate them. So, but I'll still pick Celtics.
Yeah, I'll take the Celtics. I think it could go 5, but I think it'll go 6 games. I don't want to see. I want the Celtics to lose quick. I ain't gonna lie. This whole Joe Mazzulla thing has really made me upset. But I think if they're not playing the game where they're like you call them Deuce, you call the Hornets the like Celtics light. If the Celtics are trying to play the exact same style where they're just chucking up threes, all game. I think that's going to be a recipe for a disaster for them because I think there is enough offense from the Sixers for guys like Maxey, for Edgecombe, PG. I think they have enough depth to kind of weather that or at least make it tough for them. Again, I don't know if it'll be enough in for a 4-quarter stretch. I think they can maybe push them for 2.5, 3 quarters. But Boston's a really good 4th-quarter team. Having Tatum back is huge for them. I love, what they have in terms of depth as a team, in terms of defense, in terms of what their scoring is, and having Vooch back healthy is a big deal for them as well. So, I think this will go probably 6 games, maybe 5, but I'll probably bet on 6.
I'm right there with you. Maxey gonna get you at least one. He's gonna get you one
for sure.
Like Iverson versus the Lakers, he's gonna get you one, right? Yeah. But I don't know. Even if Embiid does come back, integrating him in the playoffs and not enough reps. I just don't see it either way. I just don't see it either way. If he's healthy in the beginning of the year, maybe talking 7-game series, maybe, right? But now this late in the season, nah. So I'm gonna say at best, for the Sixers is gonna go 6. But I'm sorry. Yeah, they're gonna push at 6. What I'm saying. So we'll see. All right, let's keep pushing in the East. Now let's go to that next matchup. Assuming we all think the Pistons are going to beat whoever they play in the first round, and Celtics going to beat the Sixers. Now it would go to so Pistons in either Cavs or Raptors. And Boss, you can go based on your Raptors pick. E, you can go based on your Cavs pick. I'll come to you first. E, Pistons, Raptors, or I'm sorry, Pistons, Cavs. You had the Cavs. Pistons, Cavs. Who do you have in that series? How many games?
Pistons in 6.
Yeah.
I think with them healthy, I don't think they have anybody that can actually guard Cade Cunningham. I think that's probably one of the most advantageous series that he'll be able to play in, because I think the Magic have more versatile defenders that they can throw at Cade. And I think Jalen Suggs really gets up to play against Cade Cunningham. Even though he does play well against the Magic, I think he has a more favorable matchup to go up against the Cavaliers compared to the Magic in terms of what their defense is. Right. I think Harden can tap out by game 3 if you put enough pressure on him. And again, kind of like what they had with Darius Garland. I mean, they have great offensive talent in their backcourt, but defensively, I just don't think they're equipped enough to chase Duncan Robinson around for a whole game, where they got to switch out against Asar, or if Tobias gets switched out to put one of them in the pick. Like, I just think they have enough to kind of take advantage of some of their best players and their best talent. And Kevin Garnett Jr., I think, has finally been exposed to be a role player. Evan Mobley is not what people thought he is. And I think he's not in a position to handle a guy like Jalen Duren, who's maximizing the peak of his powers right now. Like, if JD can put him in foul trouble all game, like, I think Evan Mobley's a good shot blocker, but if you put a shoulder into him and you see how skinny he is, that could be a problem for them. Like, I don't think he's going to be good enough, and I don't think Jared Allen, I don't think either of them singularly enough is going to be enough to take on the depth of the front court that the Pistons have, especially if they're able to kind of stretch them out and make them play on the perimeter as well, if Tobias is able to shoot some threes. So I think the Pistons in 6 if they got to take on the Cavaliers.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree with Eric there in terms of Cavs. I agree that we take either of these teams in the second round anyways.
Yeah.
But the Raptors, I'm going to go with 5. I do think that the
For sure.
Raptors, they have a little bit of enough to get it going, to have, again, if everyone's on, it's a fun matchup. It would be close. It would just be, again, like playoff basketball. I don't think it would be an early win. I think it would be like maybe we're up 3-0 and they take one sort of deal.
Yep.
But so I would pick, if it was the Raptors, I think it would be Pistons in 5.
Okay. Yeah, as far as my Cavs pick for that series, I would take the Pistons in 6. The two things I will be looking at is I want to see how they handle Duncan Robinson and who he's guarding, because he's going to have to guard either Donovan Mitchell or James Harden, one of those two, as far as their backcourt. So how is that going to look? I'm sure they're going to try to hunt that matchup out. That was kind of why I was like, we look experiment with Kevin Huerter at the 2 because you get more defensive resistance. But I just want to see how that looks. Is he able to stay in front? Is he able to guard without fouling? Is he a liability? Are we going to have to put like those? That's what I'm worried about a little bit as far as that matchup. But he's been solid for us defensively. I'm not trying to get on him or anything like that. But I'm worried about that matchup, whether it's Harden or whether it's D Mitch. The other match I'm looking at is I hope we see more Isaiah Stewart with JD against Cleveland. I want to see them punish those twigs that they have, that they call a front court, and Jared Allen and Mobley. They're both good players, but they're tall. They're not big.
Yeah.
And I think JD and Stu can have their way. I've seen JD have his way by himself in the paint against both of those guys, dunking on both of them, offensive rebound against both of those guys, moving on both those guys out the way. So I hope we punish them in that matchup. And I hope we see more Isaiah Stewart. I think that may be the key to us putting them away in 6 and not 7, is if we get more Isaiah Stewart throughout the series along with Jalen Duren. So I got them in 6. All right. Let's keep pushing. So let's assume that happens. Then we would have the Celtics. Wait. Let's go to the bottom. Did we do the bottom already? No, we didn't.
No.
Yeah. Celtics and Celtics in that
Yeah, so
matchup.
Celtics versus either Hawks or Knicks. And Boss, you picked the Knicks, and I think E, you picked the Hawks, or did you pick the Knicks? Okay, so I'll come to you first, E. And how do you see that matchup going?
I say Celtics in 5. I really like the Hawks, man, but I don't know. I think Celtics are a crisp team. I think it's going to be a tough defensive matchup for them to have to take on Tatum and JB. and I don't know if they're going to have enough to keep up with them, along with the shooting that they have. And again, with the Hawks playing with house money, again, I think they've kind of exceeded expectations getting as far as they have. And I think a team like the Celtics, I think you put a lot of pressure on them offensively and defensively as well. I'll probably go, I'll go Celtics in 5 in this series. I'll take it in 5.
Okay. Boss?
If they play the Knicks, it's in 6, I think. I think the Knicks have given them a fair battle this season.
Wait, the Knicks win or the Celtics win?
Oh, sorry, the Celtics. The Celtics still win.
Knicks beat them last year.
I know.
Okay.
Because Tatum went down. But the Knicks, they're not as good as last year. They're not. I don't know how to tell them to their face, these Knicks fans, like, you're not good anymore. So, but I do think that the Celtics take them pretty quickly. Well, I mean, I would even say 5 or 6. Like, I don't think it doesn't go to 7. I could honestly even see them sweeping the Knicks, depending, especially if the Knicks take Atlanta Hawks to 7 and the Knicks are exhausted. I can see the Celtics being like, this is easy work. I just think that Cade will give Cat problems. I think the Celtics have much more reliable offensive shooting, but the Knicks, can't pull it out. So I think Celtics Knicks would go to 6 it'd be close. There'd be no blowouts necessarily, but I would say Celtics in 6 against the Knicks.
Okay. I'm kind of torn because I feel like the Hawks, I picked them in 7 to beat the Knicks, but I feel like the Knicks could beat the Celtics like they did last year. I feel like they could. I feel like they match up well against them. I know JT went down, but that was toward the end of the series. They were still winning that series when he was still there. Right. So I think they would have still won that series if he didn't get hurt. So I just feel like if the Hawks beat the Knicks, the Celtics are going to beat the Hawks. They're more experienced. It's not as bad of a matchup. They've been to the Eastern Conference Finals like 6-7 times already together, at least with JB and JT. So I just feel like the experience factor, they don't really make a lot of mistakes either. They play great team basketball. They're just more polished, and they've been there before. So I think the Celtics will get them in 5 or 6 at most. But if the Knicks somehow get there and they beat the Hawks and they play the Celtics, I would have the Knicks beating the Celtics again. I just think they match up better with them. So we'll see. But my pick, for the sake of my pick, the Hawks will lose to the Celtics in 5 or 6 tops. So that moves us, guys, on, and then we'll get to some super chats after we do the East. That moves us on to Pistons, Celtics in the Eastern Conference. And this is where it gets interesting.
Yeah.
So I'll come to you first, boss.
So we're 3-1 against them on the season, right? We haven't faced them with Tatum yet, right?
I don't think we have.
No.
Nope, not yet. Nope.
Tatum doesn't scare me. He's an incredible player. I've been saying this from the beginning. He doesn't scare me personally. I think the Pistons take it in 6.
Okay.
They are our biggest threat, 100%. But I think if the Pistons as a team get to the Eastern Conference Finals, that already tells me that they're cruising along. They feel good. I think our bigs are better than their bigs. I think our defense is better. They have good defense, but our defense is better, and our best defenders can give their best offensive guys a really tough time.
Exactly.
And especially with guys like Derek White, who's fallen off with his 3-point shooting efficiency. If that continues, it's just going to be one less guy. Yeah, that's one less guy that we have to worry about on that end in terms of who we want to guard and the spacing in that aspect. So for me, I do think that the Pistons can. It's gonna be, and I see a couple in the, Devin 2, Celtics in 6. These are all very realist takes. Like, they're not wrong, but I do think that the Pistons, especially the way they played in the season, and then if they are made to the Eastern Conference Finals, then they have some playoff experience wins. They've felt the environment. It gets tougher, but it doesn't get too different, I would say. Right. Or maybe I would say, it does get but yeah, it's going to be a huge ego boost for them. So I still think that the Pistons have a really good chance of, I would say 55-45 is how close it is for me. 55%, 45% Pistons.
55 Pistons, 45. Okay, Celtics. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. E?
Pistons in a convincing 6.
Let's go.
I think they'll have a couple blowouts mixed in. I think the Celtics have Okay, the Pistons, I think, have guys that the Pistons match up well against. Asar and Ron, I think, match up really well against JT and JB. The Celtics don't have guys to match up with the Pistons' best players. There's nobody that can guard Cade Cunningham on that team. There's nobody that can guard Jalen Duren on the inside. JD is the biggest key to this series. If he's able to contest as often as possible against Vooch on the perimeter, keep him quiet, and JD punishes them in the paint, they're beating them in a convincingly 6 games. Yeah. I think Cade has done a really good job of also, one more thing. One more thing that Cade that I think has done a good job of is elevating the floor of everybody else around them. I like the way the Celtics play, but I don't think they're floor or ceiling raisers for the guys around them. Everybody else does their job well. Cade does a good job of putting people in the best positions to be better. Jalen Duren, as an offensive hub, has grown and doing that as well. I don't think this is a good matchup for the Celtics at all. People are going to lean on their experience, and you're going to hear that for days, y'all. So get ready for that from the national media if the Pistons get to that. Experience. Yeah. I'm telling you, there's nobody on that Celtics team that can guard Cade Cunningham or Jalen Duren. And if Asar and Ron stay out of foul trouble and put the Jays in hell, this is going to be a 6-game convincing series with at least 2 blowouts mixed in. I guarantee it.
I love it.
Okay.
I love it. I also
guarantee.
I want to obviously I want to hear Deuce's take on this, but I do want to remind people too. Finesse Play says whoever wins game 1 is winning the series. This will be a series of momentum, and I have to remind you guys that we would have home court advantage.
That's a blowout.
Round.
That's a blowout. I think game 1 is a blowout. Yep.
We have home court advantage, and that just does factor in. To like home court advantage factors into playoff games. So game number 1, as much as it is just like a kind of rubbing it in the face of the media who says it's a fluke or anyone else, it's just that is the advantage, is that we have home court advantage for every single round.
And the key, the Pistons got to pay it off though, because they didn't win one game at LCA last year.
Oh my God.
They got to pay it off this year for sure. So that's a big thing I'm looking at. You guys hit some great points. I'm gonna go to the bench. I think our bench is better. I think our bench may win us a game or 2. Bader Scheinman don't scare me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Luka Garza, I love him. He doesn't really scare me when I got Paul Reed. You know, so I think our guys, Dennis Jenkins, Javonte Green, I think those guys, Ron Holland, I think those guys are going to be difference makers in at least 2 or 3 of those games, maybe even shifting the series and winning us a couple of those games. So I'm going to go that route. I think our bench is going to be so pivotal in this series and our depth, because the Celtics don't have a lot of depth like they used to. Sam Hauser don't scare me. Shireen don't scare me. Like, you know what I mean? So like, I think our depth is going to be the key for us. I have us winning this in 7. I have us winning at home on our home court in game 7. And I think we win a close game. I think we're going to shock a lot of people with this young team being able to close out this veteran team. I think we're ahead of schedule. And I think we're going to show and shut everybody up as far as they're not ready yet. They're a year ahead. It's an evaluation season. I think despite all that, they're still going to get it done.
Yeah.
Devon, I saw you in the chat. There's no such thing as a game where Derek White has locked up Cade Cunningham.
Yeah.
It doesn't exist. That's never happened, bro. You can be as confident as you want. It's never happened. Cade has dunked him in the hoop at least 3 times. He hit the step back clutch game winner. Last time they played on their floor, there's never been a time where Derek White has locked up Cade Cunningham. It does not exist. They're going to have to put 2 guys on him, and Cade, I think, will be better prepared to face double teams with the guys that are around him in this series this time.
Especially we get more Dennis Jenkins playing alongside him again.
Exactly. Absolutely. Absolutely.
And real quick, too, I just want to go back to my point, too. Devin says, I don't think home court advantage for us matters. I don't think so. It matters for us, but it matters for the other team.
It does.
We're good at winning wherever, but it does matter so I do agree with you here. I don't think home court advantage, like we saw that last year. We won all of our games in New York, and obviously we want to win home games, but the other teams can struggle on the road. So
yeah. I think it's, even though we didn't win any games at home, I think it's great to see that we can already win on the road. That to me says a lot for a young team. It's just they're not scared. So yeah, I think last year's gonna be huge. So yeah, you guys got 6, I got 7. We'll see, man.
Devon, I'm not playing with y'all today. Enough trolling, man. I'm not playing with y'all today.
you got to know what's coming, bro. Anytime you pop up,
it's a second rage bait I fell for today. Light skin rage bait is killing me today, bro. Godly.
Devin, I do agree.
I take exception to that, bro.
This is
You're
hard.
not light skin, bro.
Devin
All right,
saying, I
man.
think you're all underestimating Boston. I agree, but to the same point, we're all 3-1 against them.
I'm just not underestimating the Pistons, bro. I think
Exactly. That's where
that's
it's
my
at.
thing. I'm not underestimating
The whole thing is
Boston.
like, it's an ECF conference finals. This is an ECF. That means that the Pistons have already exceeded a lot of expectations. Not expectations, but like for themselves, for the team. They've already gone through some trials to get there, and I think that's just going to help them in that series. A round one would be a different story, but an ECF, I think, is just fine. So
we'll see. We'll see, man. Let's get us some super chats and then we'll go out west and we'll call it a night, guys. Let's go to Dom. Coming back again, says, let's just go ahead and pour out one for the Hornets. Let's just pour one out for the Hornets, man. I missed on that. I whipped on that. Yesterday, I got up on here, and y'all know I always call myself out. I got up on here, and I said that the Hornets are going to win by double digits. And they got smacked by double digits, and that's putting it light. So, got to call myself out. But you're right. We could pour one out for sure for the Hornets. Somebody said all buzz, no sting. I think that is accurate based on what we saw in this game. He said gone, but also forgotten. I'm trying to tell us they like the Pistons last year, this year. Last I checked, we weren't in the play-in last year. Take y'all dirty play to 1, 2, 3. Cancun. 1, 2, 3. Cancun. Yeah, they little brother for now. They're trying to get to where we are now. They got a long way to go to get there. They got to make some changes to their roster for sure. But yeah, pour one out for sure, man. Gone, but also forgotten until next year. I think you are dead on with that, bro, for sure. They kind of got exposed a little bit in this game for sure, as far as style of play. You can play a certain way and beat them. They can't really play a bunch of different ways. That's a young team. So good take, bro, for sure. 1, 2, 3 Cancun. You know what it is, man. You're hilarious. Let's go to Fat Kism says, glad for Orlando. We need Stu and no ejections. I don't think, honestly, y'all real quick, give me your take. I don't think we're going to see Stu get any ejections. We may see him get 1 tech in the playoffs, 2 at most. I see him on his best behavior. I just saw him against Jay Huff, against Pacers, when Jay Huff was all in his ear and Stu was like,
I don't think it's a
turn
Stu
around.
thing.
I think he's so focused on what happened last year and not being there. I don't think he's going to let anything get in the way of him not being there this year. That's my take on that. What do you guys think?
Just real quick, I just think I don't think it's a Stu issue. I think he's just shown that he just walks away from conflicts. Yes, he might get a tech or something like that. They're going to try to get under his skin. I'm more worried about guys like Ron, to be honest, in terms of getting techs. But otherwise, I don't think there'll be any ejections. And I think that this was a major talking point for his last suspension with Stu. And I think that I think the team understands that they need, everybody out on the court. So I could see there being techs. There were 5 or 6 techs in the game the other night with the
it was
it?
Quite a few.
And so it was the Magic Sixers, right? Yeah.
Yep.
So there's gonna be techs, but I don't think there'll be ejections. I don't think there'll be suspensions. I think they've, Stu is. I think Ron's the easiest to trigger right now. I think Stu understands his role because what's been happening is
Ron's been chill though. Go ahead.
Ron's been chill, but with Stu is like if he starts to get into it, he's off the floor. They just tuck someone else in, and they'll bring him back in. But you've seen him just walk straight to the bench to cool down. That's his coping mechanism. And I think that's just I think that we have a little bit of that advantage. And if these guys want to try to get under their skin, we'll still get I don't think it's going to be as big as a factor as we may have thought earlier in the season. Is kind of where I'm getting at. So I can talk about that all day, but yeah.
E, go ahead, bro.
Real quick, Zion, you're right. We got 2 of the best light-skinned dudes in world history on our team. That's number 1. Number 2, I'm not scared of Stu getting into a fight. I'm scared of Stu's reputation costing him with the refs. The LaMelo thing that you talked about the other day, Sarah, would never fly if that was beef Stu.
Or
Stu would be in Alcatraz right now if he did to
right.
Bam what LaMelo did. That's what I'm afraid of. I don't think Stu's going to get in a fight. I do believe he's going to be focused and mature as well. But if they see him swipe too hard at somebody or if he pushes while blocking out, they're going to overreact and toss him. That's what I'm worried about with Stu.
Okay.
I'm not worried about the overreaction of tossing, but I am I think more so it's because I think the same thing would have happened if that was Stu. They would have not called it, not reviewed it, whatever, But then everybody, people were calling for LaMelo suspension, but I feel like everybody would be like, Stu needs to be out of here. This is dirty. This is gross. This is what he does, which is crazy because the dirtiest thing I've seen Stu do is grab jerseys on the way down from a rebound in terms of in-game dirtiness. But the Magic are definitely going to get under his skin, but I still think I can see that, But at the same time, you could say the same about like a Desmond Bain. Like I think it'll be pretty equally. The reputation does suck, but I don't think he's going to be as involved in it as other guys might. I feel like JD might get some tangled up with Banchero and Wendell. I feel like Ron's going to get tangled up with Bain. I think Stu will get some tangles and stuff, but it's not going to be to the point of him, risking his availability.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, okay. Yeah. Good point there for sure. All right, guys, let's go out west, man. So we know we got going to the finals in the East, right?
Love it.
Let's go out west. And let's start with the Thunder versus the Suns or Warriors. So I have the Warriors playing the Thunder. Boss has the Suns, and even you have the Warriors. How many games, if that plays out, does that go? I'll let you go first, E. Yeah, Thunder versus. Okay, you got a sweep.
I don't have a take for this. I think OKC is prepared to beat basically everybody in the West. Actually, let me chill out.
Ooh,
they have a recipe to beat a lot of teams in the West in more than one way, and I think the first couple rounds are not going to be a challenge for them. Yeah. So this is going to be a sweep for sure.
Okay, I'm right. I have nothing. I'm nothing. I'm just sweep. Whoever it is, Suns, Warriors, sweep. Boss, where you at?
I have 5 if it's the Suns. The Suns the Suns have won 2 games against the Warriors already this season. They did it when Jalen Williams was out, but everyone else was healthy. So I will give them that they were lacking Jalen Williams, but he's still been kind of up and down with his production. Obviously the Thunder bench is insane, and a sweep is probably what's going to happen. But I do think that the Suns give them some problems and could possibly take one. So if it's not a sweep, it's at least one. But I got Thunder moving on easy.
Okay. All right, so that's that. Let's go to Lakers Rockets, and this just got really interesting in like a half hour. Like I would have had a totally different take.
Yeah.
Ooh,
well, I just want to say real quick
on this one. Go ahead.
I just looked it up real quick, and while that he is questionable, the Houston Rockets are stating that they think that he will still play.
Okay.
So
that's so hard because there's so many unknowns with that. That's tough. It's gonna be a crapshoot.
They gotta put the questionable for the books. That's really it. Right. Like today, Diabate was questionable. Like they just got to put it for the books. And so that stinks. But I do still think that he's going to play. So
okay,
yeah.
Okay. So with that, boss, how do you have that going?
I have the Rockets, and this is something I definitely didn't think I would say, especially if Luka was healthy. And I know that Reeves will be in with LeBron. Oh no, Reeves is not going to be in. He's out too. Yeah, it's the Rockets.
They may come back at some point.
Reeves is a little bit longer. Yeah, I don't think the first. I think that they're pretty both out for the first round unless it goes long. But
there was real quick. They were just saying if they can get to Game 6, Luka maybe that's their goal right now.
That's Luka? Okay, because Reeves had like a 4 to 6 week, and that was only like 2 weeks ago, longer. 3 weeks ago. So I don't see maybe Luka before Reeves, but I still think it's the Rockets, and this is tough because they have been up and down. I've seen I was at the Nuggets Rockets game where the Rockets won convincingly. It was when Durant and Bruce Brown were fighting on the floor, and then I was later on the Rockets Nuggets when everyone was healthy on the Rockets and the Nuggets just blew them out. So I've seen what the Rockets I would say their locker room is at like a 60% right now. I think that's their biggest hinder going into this is just certain people wanting, like Şengün wants to be the one in charge of clutch plays and Durant wants to be the one in charge of clutch plays and, little things like that. But I still think the Rockets as a whole will beat the Lakers. They just have a lot more talent. Some guys that can, in terms of guys that are healthy, have a lot more talent. Jabari Smith Jr. has been a reliable 16, 17 points and great on defense. Amen Thompson has been a reliable 18 points, 6 rebounds, 6 assists. Reed Shepherd, as much as we hate him, has been very reliable as their point guard. He might have a little bit of a slack coming off as a rookie, but he's surrounded by a lot of guys who can hold it down. I think Amen obviously is just like he's in the same position as Asar, but I think he just carries himself very well, and I think the confidence will be there. The Rockets bench is 100 times better than the Lakers bench when the Lakers are depleted. So I'm gonna go Rockets in 5 because I think LeBron and Kennard can put together something special. I think and then Vanderbilt. And by the way, guys, it's winding down right now. The Orlando Magic have won 121
31. 31-point win for the Magic over
Insane.
Charlotte. That's wild.
Insane.
So
wire to wire. Go ahead, boss.
anyways, and if KD can play, he's going, even when he has his off games, he's still the jump shot is pure. It's much better. Like LeBron's clutchness has faded. And so for me, even if it is a close game, you can't even really rely on your best player because while the Rockets can rely on a couple people to finish the job. So I'm still going to go Rockets in 5.
E?
I'm going to go Rockets in 5 too. I just don't think the Lakers have enough. If Luka and Austin were playing, I would pick the Lakers. I think even with the dysfunction and, the threat of a Kevin Durant burner account, I think they have enough talent to overcome a Lakers team that's, a little slow, not as offensively proficient without their 2 best offensive players, or arguably 2 of the 3 best offensive players. I just think it's, even with, KD's knee, being in question, I think he'll always be a threat as a shooter. I think Amen can have a pretty effective series. Even Şengün as well. I don't really trust the front court of the Lakers at all. So I'm going to go with the Rockets in 5 as well.
Okay.
I'm going Lakers in 7.
Of course you are.
Yeah, you're
Lakers
Lakers
Where
fan.
King at? Let me call
Here's
King
why.
right now.
He said
Here's
LeBron
why.
can do it all.
I bet you King's voice will come back if he heard
Right,
me
he
say
coming up in a minute.
He's just clocking in.
that. It's probably some heart in there. It is some heart in there. I could be honest.
That's
but
fair.
I'm hoping they can get it to game 6. If they can go to game 6 down 3-2 and Luka can come back, I think they can beat him in 7. That's kind of what I'm banking on, and nothing really else. I do wonder about Houston's point guard play. They don't really have a point guard. If Fred VanVleet's playing, then it's no question. Yeah, no, he's not the answer. He's not the answer at point guard. He's going to be the reason they don't advance. This is my take, and I do not have faith in Reed Shepherd, bro. I do not have faith in Reed Shepherd, especially in the playoffs. I'm not rolling. If VanVleet's there, different conversation. If Kevin Durant's playing, I'm still probably taking him anyway, even if Luka does come back. I think they need all their guys. They need Reeves, they need LeBron, they need Luka in order to beat them if Kevin Durant's there. If all 3 aren't there and KD plays, it's a wrap. So a lot of things got to go right for the Lakers. If they can somehow stumble to game 6, 3-2 down, and Luka comes back, I think they have a shot if Kevin Durant isn't playing. But that's it. That's a lot of ifs. If it was a flip, we'd all be drunk. So my heart is telling me Lakers in 7. If those things play out, I think it can happen. So we'll see.
For your gut. I just want to say real quick, I went with my gut today, and the Suns are up 13-2. There's plenty of time.
They winning. They doing their thing. It's early.
There's plenty of time.
But they so we'll see. Boss man running away with these predictions, guys. So we'll see. All right, let's keep pushing. Let's go to Nuggets T-Wolves. Interesting series, boss. I'm gonna come to you first. You already know I'm coming to you first on this one for sure. Go ahead and educate everybody on this series. What are you seeing with the Nuggets and the T-Wolves, which has been a little bit of kryptonite? I'll be on that kryptonite.
Yes.
So what do you see in that series?
The Wolves are the Nuggets kryptonite. I got to see them on Christmas Day. It was a blast. It was so fun. The Nuggets ended up winning. And Anthony Edwards did get ejected, but not till close to the end of the 4th.
Right.
So you can't say much about that. But
the
Wolves have not been as good as they were in previous seasons. The Nuggets finished their season on a 12-0 win streak without their 2 best defenders in Spencer Jones and Aaron Gordon, but their 2 best new defenders in Spencer Jones and Peyton Watson. Peyton Watson has been most likely they're speculating that he will not be available for round 1. There's multiple. That's what one of the reporters said, but David Adelman did say that he does think that he will be available. So I don't know the full story. But again, Peyton Watson's been out for he was out for a long time with Jokic and them. And then he came back for a couple games and re-injured his hamstring and then has been out again. But he was out for that 12-game win streak. So I think he played 2 games. And so he's a part of it. So the Wolves are usually a problem for us, but especially with Cam Johnson heating up, Christian Brown heating up again. Brucey Brown's been great off the bench. THJ has been fantastic off the bench. There's now been 2 games in a row that I've watched him go 0 for 6 or 0 from 7 in the first half. And then the second half, he's 100% from 3. He hit 4, 4, 5, 5. So he knows when to turn it on. He's trying. He understands what's at risk, but it's going to be a tough series. I'm going to say Nuggets I want to say optimistically Nuggets in 5. But the Nuggets, they've been better in clutch games towards the end of the season. They were terrible in clutch games for the beginning. So they're kind of half and half right now in terms of clutch games. So
Yeah.
I would say 6. You know, I'm going to say Nuggets in 5. I genuinely believe that they will be able to. And I just bought, they play tomorrow, guys. I know no Payne Watson, but again, like, yeah, I don't think they're 100% yet.
Right. Yeah.
But they do play tomorrow. I'm going to be on a plane. I'm going to buy Wi-Fi to make sure I can watch it. But I got tickets for game 2, which is Monday night. So I'm excited for that. But I still think it is. I think that there's a little bit more of a, especially the way they ended the season. And they just want to get past round 1. They have a terrible, I mean, we'll get to all the other West people, but if we agree, it would be the Spurs and the OKC next too, if they had to match up against them. So they have a tough run, but the way they played the Timberwolves this year compared to past years, I really do think that they're gonna pull it together. And the Wolves team has gone through its own little bit of ups and downs as well. So I'm going to say the Nuggets for sure. And guys, again, like, it might be easy. If you don't watch them, you might say Nuggets off the bat, but the Wolves the Wolves are like the Heat for us. Like, it's just like, why can't we beat this team consistently? Like when we play the Heat, like that's how the Nuggets are with the Wolves. But I do think the Nuggets take this in 5.
Okay. E?
Yeah.
I'm going to be that guy and say it. I don't trust the Timberwolves at all. I think the Nuggets walk over them in 5. I don't like how the Timberwolves play at all. Like, yes, they do push y'all well in the regular season, but knowing that Ant and Jay are not healthy and coming into this series 100%, I don't like them having Julius Randle as a confident, complimentary scorer to him in this series. I just don't like the way that they're made. I don't like the way they defend. I don't like the way they play offense. And I think Rudy can still be had defensively. I really think the Nuggets are well equipped with the vets that they've added in. If they're healthy and if Jokic is on his A game, I think this is a very comfortable 5-game series for the Nuggets.
And Jamal Murray too. Jamal Murray and Aaron Gordon's coming back in too. I agree.
Yep.
I just want to say with the Gobert thing too. Like, people say Jokic doesn't play defense, but in the games that have mattered towards the end of the season, he really stepped up. He had a couple of 5-block games recently. Like, he's been a better rim protector, and like, that's something that Gobert as a 4-time DPOY, that's a fun matchup, those two. But Jokic I think especially this year, Jokic does have Gobert, which the Timberwolves did eliminate the Nuggets 2 years ago, so it's still a postseason matchup. But I think
the Nuggets beat the T-Wolves before that, early in that man's career. So this would be the rubber match between those matchups. And I think the depth of the Nuggets is going to be the difference, because when they lost last time, they didn't have Brucey Brown. They let him go. They didn't have THJ. He wasn't available. So, like, it's the same reason I think the Nuggets lost last year.
The Nuggets, real quick, guys, were very mirrored to the Pistons, where they had some of their stars out for good lengths of time, and their bench really stepped up to keep them in the running. Like, they really stepped up. Like, the Nuggets ended up they were 3rd, and then when Jokic went out, they dropped down to 6th, and then they finished the season in 3rd. And that had a lot to do with their bench guys being able to step up. But again, Spencer Jones and Payne Watson, who were 2 of those bench guys that did step up in that time, aren't available at this time. But I still do think that we again, the depth, like, again, THJ comes off the bench for them. Brucey Brown comes off the bench. Jonas Valanciunas is just a huge, big body. Finally, even though he's been kind of sidelined a little bit, he's still a big body out there. I do completely agree.
I'm gonna take him a 6. I'm gonna give Ant-Man 2. I was giving Maxey 1. I'm gonna give Ant-Man 2. I'm gonna give him that respect. I think he's one of the top 5 or 6 players in the league right now, just on talent alone. So I'm gonna give him 2. Give him 2, but no more, because of the reason we talked about already. Boss, you highlighted the E. So I'm on the same page. I'm gonna give him 2. Let's move on to Spurs Trailblazers, guys. And real quick before I do that, let me get this super chat in here real quick from Vinsanity the Great. Appreciate you, bro. Says, even though I'm rooting for you Pistons to win the East, I would love to see a Raptors Pistons matchup in the second round. Should be a fun series. That would be interesting. He said, nah. He said, nah,
you don't want that. You don't want that, Vinsanity. I got respect for the Raptors. You don't want to see that matchup. Pistons matchup way too good against the Raptors. You don't want to see that. But good luck to y'all. I like that y'all got Brandon Ingram. I love that ad for y'all.
See, I like it
for them. Yeah, he's been good.
Thanks for coming in. I'll say I love it only because I think it's just 2 more younger teams that could be a more fun matchup in terms of pace and explosiveness and defense. 2 very high defensive ranked teams, both top 10. I mean, Pistons are number 2
Yeah.
Raptors are number 7, I believe, 7 or 8. So, like I said, Cavs are at number 17 right now. So, I
We
would like to
haven't
see it just in terms of youth and fun.
we haven't seen Toronto Detroit in 25 years.
Yeah.
Almost 25 years when they played early in the Pistons run. So it's
Yeah.
that would be a nice change of pace, something we haven't seen in a long time.
Right.
Yeah, appreciate you been saying it great. Last one, Fat Kism says,
Yes,
ask
thank
you
you.
about the question I asked about. I didn't even see that.
Yeah.
I didn't even see that.
Ivy's
That sounds
not
like
on
some
our
toxic
team. So,
behavior. That sounds like some toxic stuff, bro.
yeah.
I don't care.
If
It's a super chat. I'm not answering that. I don't
No.
really know what you want me to say. Like he's not playing. I don't.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
He got way bigger problems right now than basketball. Let's just stick to the playoffs, y'all. I don't know.
Let's move on to Spurs Trailblazers,
nasty.
guys.
That's nasty.
Spurs Trailblazers. Who I'm coming to you first, E. Spurs Trailblazers. Who do you have in that series? How many games?
Sweep. Sweep. I don't trust the Trailblazers at all. I like Denny Avia. No, I don't like Denny Avia. What am I talking about? I don't like him at all. No, I don't think. I think they have enough bodies to throw at him, and I think his flopping style of scoring is not going to be enough. I think he's good enough without it, but I think in playoff basketball, I think he's going to try to lean on that a lot. I think they've done a good job. I don't know. Someone's talking about the possibility of Dame coming back. I don't see that happening. But no, I think
good idea.
Yeah, the Spurs are just way too deep. I love everything that they have. I love Mitch Johnson, their coach. Wemby, I think I'm really excited to see him play in his first playoff series. And again, I just think based on how they're stacked, I'm really happy that they ended up keeping De'Aaron Fox instead of trading him and leaping out for a star, because I think he's a good X Factor scorer for them, especially in postseason basketball, instead of leaning on somebody like Dylan Harper as a rookie to try to carry the water early. I think it's good to have him coming off the bench. I love their wings. Y'all know how much I talk about them a lot with Vassell and Castle. I think they're built for a big run in this postseason, and I think they're going to sweep the Trailblazers.
Okay, boss.
Yeah, Spurs are definitely moving on, but I'm giving them in 5. The Trailblazers have their record is 1-2 against the Spurs. They have not played Wemby, so that is a factor. But even in the game that they didn't play Wemby, they were not blown out. Their largest deficit was 13. They won by 5, and they also lost by 11. So nothing. I mean, still substantial numbers, but nothing crazy what we've seen. And so I think the Trailblazers can still, go pretty hard. They have great defenders like Drew Holiday. If Jeremy Grant is hot, I love. I also do not like Denny Avdia at all. But if he's driving to the basket constantly, he could definitely get some guys in foul trouble for the Spurs and cause some issues in a game. Donovan Clingan is, I think, a little bit underrated.
He is,
but he has been able to produce off the boards. He can shoot threes now too. I watched him drain 2 threes in Denver. I was like, when did you get this, Donovan? But he can so he can, especially he's just. He's not, no one's as big as Wemby, but he's definitely a big for Wemby to match up against. So I think it would be a good matchup. So I do think that, especially if there's factors like foul trouble, if the Spurs shooting is a little bit off, if the Blazers are on, I think the Blazers do win 1. So I don't think it's a sweep, but I do think the Spurs move on convincingly. And I think in the other games that they win convincingly. So
yeah, I got them in 4. I just don't think the Blazers have enough. I just don't think they have enough. I think the Spurs are just too deep. The Spurs
y'all thought they were going to be eliminated, so
I definitely
but that's the Spurs ain't the Suns. It's a totally different animal.
True.
The Spurs are the only team this year as a Pistons fan. I was like, I'm a little bit worried. Only team. Even the games we lost to other teams, I wasn't concerned about them being able to beat us 4 times out of 7. They're the only team I'm worried about. It's because of that alien. The fact that he hasn't played, they haven't seen him. I don't care how much you watch film. I don't care how much you game plan. Until you get on the court, it's kind of like a boxing match. I don't care how many times you see guys fighting other guys. Until you get in that ring and you feel that power, you're not going to know what it's like.
Right.
I think that's how it is with Wemby. Until you get in the court and see the wingspan, you see how much ground he can cover to where he's making you triple guess everything. It's just going to be different. And I think that alone is going to be the difference, along with the depth they have on this team. They got so many guys, and they got guys with better experience too. You got De'Aaron Fox, you got Harrison Barnes, who's won championships. I just think they have too much, and they've won games down the stretch. They've won close games down the stretch too against really good teams. I've seen them beat everybody outside of Denver in close games down the stretch. They just put games away. And I think in the playoffs, you got to be able to do that. So yeah, I think it's gonna be. I think every game could be competitive though. I think it's gonna be one of those 4-game sweeps that's not really showing you all the context. But I don't think Portland's gonna be able to close out those games against the Spurs. So we'll see. We'll see. All right, guys, let's keep pushing. Let's go back to the top of the bracket. Thunder versus Rockets for you guys. If it's I'll start with y'all. I got Lakers, but I'll start with y'all. Thunder, Rockets. Who do you guys have in that series? How many games? I'll start with you first, boss.
I want to say for me, the first one comes up as a sweep, but I could also see like Amen and Jabari and some guys just really give some great defense and lead to like a close game 5, but the Thunder are moving on. So at best a sweep, at worst 5 is where I'm at.
Okay. About you, E? You pulling the Bruins back out?
Yeah, I don't trust the Rockets at all. I really don't. I think Kevin Durant, again, especially if he's not healthy, I don't know. I think there's enough depth within OKC to just throw whatever they need to throw at Kevin Durant to get the ball out of his hand and make somebody else beat them. I feel like Şengün can be frustrated in this series. I don't think he can be as effective against a team as well prepared and as deep as OKC is. He doesn't like physicality. He can flop a lot too. And I think OKC is just way too deep. And I don't think they have anybody great. I'm going to say that anybody. I think Amen can match up okay with Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, but he's not going to be like the X factor this year. I think like Chet can have his way. If Jay Will is on the floor, I think he can have his way. And I think the depth of OKC can just be a problem. I think this would be 4 games unless we somehow get a turn the clock game by KD, which I don't really see happening against OKC. I think this is a sweep.
Yeah.
Okay. I have the Lakers in 7. I'm just playing. No, I don't. I ain't crazy, y'all. Eric's eyes get
time to turn it off. It's like, dude, no.
Eric's people's eyes.
King, you won't believe what he just said, bro.
Bro, right. I see somebody at the bottom entering the chat trying to get on the stage.
Right.
If the Lakers do get to the second round, I would imagine they would probably have Reeves and Luka back. And if it would be the case, I would have them getting a game or 2.
Well, I just want to say
the big
too.
3. But I don't think they have a chance to win this series at all, even with the big 3. If they get there, I will give Luka, LeBron, Reeves, and their supporting cast. I will give them 2 games against the Thunder, and I would have them fall short. Go ahead, boss.
And I do agree with all this, but I just am curious. I was curious how their series was this season, and the Rockets did win a game. Their last game in February, the Rockets won by 6. And the other games, the Thunder won convincingly by 10 in one game, but then another game, the Thunder won in a 2 overtime thriller, and they won by 1 point. So but I do think, especially the way that was early in the season. So I think the way the seasons have gone, the Thunder has just continued to get better, and the Rockets we've talked about have been 1 and down. So I do agree, but I think that the Rockets have been kind of up and down. Like they've given, again, they lost by 10 points, 11 points total in 3 games to the Thunder. So it's a little bit more, I think, and I think again, we don't watch a lot of the West either. I mean, I'm a little bit tapped into it, but I didn't know that either. So I think it's considering
that's interesting.
Considering those two, that there's gonna be a little bit more competitiveness. I don't think it'll be I can still see a sweep, but I don't think it would be as easy as people might think.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. Coming back to Fat Kism, he said my question was, if the Pistons were to win it all, would Ivy get a ring? So it's not like, from what I understand, it's not like it's an amount of games. It's entirely up to the team.
Yeah.
If it's their discretion, if they want to go ahead and do that or not. I think about Anderson Varejao with the Cavs and the Warriors. I think he played on both teams and got a ring. Yeah. So then they offered it to him, and he's like, "Nah, I didn't do anything." He really didn't even want it, but they offered it. So it's up to the team to decide if that were to happen, if they were to give it to him or not. I would hope they would.
I think they would.
I think they would.
The work that he's put in with this team,
the
losing streak and everything. Yeah, I would hope they would.
Just for who he was for this team when Cade was injured, just for who he was in past years.
On the strength
of, right.
Yes, and how the team just does think of themselves as a family and everything.
Exactly.
So, Yep. These just be the right thing to do, for sure. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Let's keep pushing. And now we would have the Nuggets versus the Spurs.
Ooh.
Oh, do you guys want to know their season record?
Please, let me hear it.
I know you got it. What you got?
The Nuggets are 3-1 against the Spurs this season. 3 of those games included Wemby.
All three? Oh, 3 of the 4.
All three wins included Wemby.
He played. Okay.
I'm not sure if the loss did as well, but all 3 wins. Oh wait, no. One of them might have not, but I know at least 2 of them. Yeah, and 2 later in the season. They played them last, where Jokic and Wemby both did have to play, but it's the last game of the season, so you're not good. But they did. But they have won the 2. The only one they lost was their first matchup earlier in the season. Their Jokic plays Wemby very well. He's not afraid of Wemby. We saw, if you watch the highlights, he'll back him down. He'll do the jump shot. Wemby will still have his moments and everything. And it does come down to, I think they have a lot of equal talent, but the Nuggets talent is just older. They've just have more experience. Like Stephon Castle is not Jamal Murray. What's his face is not Aaron Gordon. I can't think of who I'm thinking of right now, but there's just like, they have a couple guys who are just like, I think it's a very good matchup. The Nuggets win in 7. They absolutely, I am 100% confident that the Nuggets beat the Spurs in the playoffs.
Okay.
So I think, and it was something I would love to see, of course.
Great series.
I do think just in terms of how the Nuggets, I've told you guys from the start, like the Nuggets really peak in the playoffs. They are a playoff team. We've seen teams that are regular season teams and then kind of fall apart in the playoffs. We've seen, but like they maintain it during the regular season. We saw this 12-game win streak because they were trying to pull together and get to the highest seed for home court advantage and stuff like that. Yeah. But with the Spurs, like they're gonna have the better experience. While it's gonna be tough, they're such a good team with already years of experience under these guys' belts.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not playing favorites, but it's also just based on what I've seen too, watching these games, and they're going to be close. So it's a Nuggets in 7 for me.
Okay. I mean, you would know, so you watched it more than anybody here. E, what you think, bro? I want to hear from you.
Oh man, I really want to pick the Spurs, but I don't like this matchup for them. I just don't. I think Wemby can be an effective player in this series. But while I do like Wemby's defense, I think it can be a little overrated just sometimes. He's not the best operating in space on the perimeter. If you drag him out, he's not the best. Granted, obviously he's the best shot blocker in the world, but there's more to defense than shot blocking. And I think a guy like Joker, and with a lot of motion that the Nuggets play with, I think that can really keep him off balance. And I think with the depth that they play with, and they're a really physical team too, even though the Spurs are as well, but it's different when you're a been there, done that team and you know how to play with that physicality. It's just a little bit different. And I think with the team that the Spurs have, they have a lot of talent, and I love how their pieces fit together. I think just I don't mean to just take what Sarah said, but I just really think the experience that the Nuggets have, I just think outweighs the talent that the Spurs have within their roster. I think maybe next year I'd probably pick the Spurs, but right now I think the Nuggets have more than enough to beat them, and I think it will be a 7-game series as well.
You took the words out of my mouth, bro. That's exactly what I was about to say. Just the experience piece. Go ahead, boss.
Just real quick, I just want to mention the last 3 games of the season that we did face them and we did win. Peyton Watson was not in.
Yeah. Okay.
Our best defender. So
yeah.
That's another aspect to it.
I think it will go 7. I think the Nuggets could still beat them on the road though. Like Jokic is the only guy I've seen make Wemby drop his head after a make shot.
Yeah.
Only guy I've seen. That fall away float, like there's nothing you can even Wemby can't do anything with that. Like nobody, you just can't get to that shot. We've seen Brian when he was younger you just can't get to it. Nobody can get to it. I think that's the difference. They've been there before. They're playoff tested. They're championship tested. They've won before, and we know that Jokic, Murray, and Gordon, they take their game to another level in the playoffs. Particularly Jamal Murray. He goes from he increases his points and assists by like 5 points in the playoffs, and that's what makes people. That's the thing. Like that's why he was an all-star for the first time this year. Is that in the regular season he doesn't put up those crazy numbers until this year, but in the playoffs it's like he's a totally different player. We saw it starting with the bubble season. Starting probably when they beat the Clippers, came back from down 3-1 to beat them, and he went crazy. Lakers, same thing, went crazy. He is my second favorite point guard after Cade Cunningham in the league for that reason. He's just ready. He's always ready. He's polished. So I think the experience, like you guys have mentioned, will be the difference maker. I think the Spurs are a year early. They're a year ahead. Come next year, like E said, I think they could change the conversation once they have that experience with their stars, but they don't have it yet. And I think in a 7-game series, being at home can be a detriment too, because you got a lot of pressure on you. You're supposed to win this game, and you don't win it. So I think all in all, I think the Nuggets win that series in 7 games on the road. So
all right. We're all
I'm with it.
Same
let's
page.
so let's keep pushing. Yeah, we on the road on this side of the bracket. Let's go Thunder versus Nuggets. Thunder versus Nuggets, man.
Do you guys want to hear the data real quick?
Sure. Give it to us. What you
got? So the Nuggets or the Thunder are 3-1 on the Nuggets this season. I will say that last year with pretty similar lineups, even though I think the Nuggets upgraded in terms of getting Cam Johnson, who's popping off, and then Val, the Nuggets did take the Thunder to 7 games in the Western Conference Finals. So
last year?
Yes.
Yep.
So I want to say that too. And they're 3-1, the Thunder are, but the Nuggets, their one win was on April 10th. That was just when the Thunder were resting a bunch of guys. But they had they played the second half of the season. All 4 of their games were in the second half of the season this year, which means that all teams were pretty much in their rhythm, despite some injuries like Jokic. When Jokic was out, the Thunder won by 10. Jokic still out. The Thunder were up by the Thunder beat the Nuggets in overtime. And then with Jokic back, the Thunder beat on that buzzer beater by Shea in March. The Thunder beat them by 3. So again, it's not a big margin. They're a tough compete. This is hard because they were so close last year to beating the Thunder.
They were.
So it's kind of I see either team in 7, but I'm gonna go with Nuggets because that's just, that's my team. So I can say either team in 7, but I'm gonna go with Nuggets because I do believe in them, and I do think that guys like Cam Johnson and Valanciunas being brought in and THJ were huge for this run compared to last year's. Like my MPJ is someone that people say is like, he was a big role in our win, but last year he shot us out of games against the Clippers and against the Thunder.
Yeah,
he just the ball goes to die. Where Cam and THJ, I have better trust in them giving up the ball if needed. So I do think that the Nuggets actually have a better chance of winning this year in 7. Okay. And they took the Thunder to 7 last year. So I'm still going to go with Nuggets.
Okay. E?
I'm going with the Nuggets too. I don't think OKC is coming out this year. I think Aaron Gordon and Jamal Murray are going to be the keys and the X factors to the series. I feel like SGA can have his way and score a lot, but I think we've seen SGA. He's a good defender, but I think you can still frustrate him, and I think Jamal Murray can be the guy to do that for them. I love the bench that they have. You talked about THJ and Cam Johnson. I also think Valanciunas can play a really big role in this series as well. They do have, good bigs over there at OKC, but I think with how Jokic, it's kind of like what I was talking about with the Pistons versus Boston. I think Jokic is better as a floor raiser and a ceiling raiser for Denver, and I think SGA is just really good at what he does. And I think that makes a big difference in the playoffs. I think Jokic makes everybody around him better. That's why I always say he's the best player in basketball, even though I don't think he's a great defender. I still think he's more effective at what he does than what SGA does in terms of being a scorer, defender, and as a playmaker. I think Jokic could, obviously still be a monster in this series, and I don't think there's anybody on OKC that can give him a problem. I loved watching how they played all series. I think it was the Lou Dort game where it was the game where he tripped Jokic and he charged at him. I think he wants some give back after that. So I think we're gonna see some pretty good intensity after that. And I got Denver and I got them in 7. It's gonna be a lot of slugfest on the West Coast, and I think it's gonna be a 7-game series.
I just real quick, I got to just see them. It was their benches versus benches, but like Lou Dort was active and Jared McCain was active and Aaron Wiggins was active. So that's kind of some second guys they go to. They have a lot. They have like Wallace and Joe and other options, but those are a lot of guys that they go to. And the deep Nuggets bench. I'm talking like David Roddy. I don't know if you guys know who he is, but like they were able to beat them and maintain a substantial lead throughout the whole game. So I do think that especially with the development, like I said earlier, with how they mirrored the Pistons, where some guys had development earlier in the season due to injuries to the starters. I feel like that's going to be just as effective against the OKC bench. The OKC number 2 bench is definitely still good, but if Jared McCain and Aaron Wiggins and Lou Dort are going to get minutes, I know that they can be beat by the guys that nobody even knows their names on the Nuggets. So, it's kind of thing. So,
y'all covered my points. I just think they're deep enough now. We got the last 2 representatives of the Western Conference who won the finals in these 2 teams, right? We got the Thunder who won 23, and we got 2020 last year. We got the Nuggets who won 2023. So both teams are experienced. It's not even like it's not like San Antonio where they haven't been there before. They just got this alien. No, both of these teams are pretty even. So it just comes down to execution. I just think the 3-headed monster of those guys, I know depth is important, but they have it now. I think the 3-headed monster is just better than the OKC 3-headed monster, and they're healthy now. And I think that's going to be the difference. So we'll see. We'll see. The best player in that series, I think, is going to show itself by winning that series.
Yeah,
and I think that's going to be Jokic. So, all right, guys, let's move it on finally to the championship. And if this happens, bro, man, I'm already starting to look at flights for Denver, bro. At this point,
Sarah gonna be a blender with this one.
No, I mean I'm off. I said this was my worst nightmare just because, especially being more so just being in the Nuggets arena, you want to cheer for the Nuggets. That's how I was last year with the Pistons, and Westbrook was beating them, and he was around just like amping the crowd up, and I was in the Pistons jersey, like, God, I want to be a part of this so bad. But but this season, no issues. Like I have no issues rooting for them. But
so
anyways, yeah.
So
go ahead, please.
Nuggets Pistons would be the matchup if we got it. So I don't know who to come. I'm gonna save you, boss. Let me get you in here first because I want to hear boss's perspective as a Denver fan.
I'm listening, but I'll be right back. I'm listening.
Go ahead, E. So take off, bro. Nuggets Pistons. How does that play out? First of all, that would be insane if it happens, bro. Like just
it would.
I'm gonna throw that out there. That would be.
It definitely would.
Okay, so
man,
yes, let us know. What do you think? How would that play
I'm trying
out?
to be objective about this. I really am.
But you're not gonna be.
I think it's gonna be a 7-game series. I think it's gonna be a dogfight. I think they both match up with each other very well. I think the front court is gonna be a fun matchup. I'm going with the Pistons, man. I think the Pistons are going to win this series. I think the Pistons are most equipped.
I need you to check your work on that one.
I think Jokic is a monster, but we saw the front court of the Pistons frustrate him last time he came to LCA. He was not great in that game. Matter of fact, I thought he was kind of lackluster. And I think if Beef Stew is healthy, if we can splash in some Paul Reed minutes, where he can, get some offensive rebounds and challenge Jokic on the glass, and Duran is playing his best game, even as a playmaker, and making him defend. Because to me, that's the biggest key. You have to make Jokic do what he's worst at. You have to be able to make him defend. If you can find a way to get him in foul trouble and frustrate him, play some high minutes of Valanciunas, I think that's a huge W for the Pistons. And I don't think the Nuggets have anyone that can guard Cade. I don't think there's anyone on that team that can slow him down. I think he would be the best player in that series. I love what Jokic brings. I think he's a good player, but Cade is not a liability in any way, shape, or form. You can make Jokic a liability defensively, and I don't think they have the ability to turn Cade into a liability with how he plays. I think they have enough depth. If they can shoot and keep up with the shooting that Denver provides, I think they'll be able to make it a tough series. But I would go Pistons in 7 in this series. I truly would. I think they can make it happen. It's not going to be easy. I think we're going to see some good games from Jokic, but I think there will be more. I think the Pistons have more of an ability to bring out some tougher games with Jokic with their bigs than they do to frustrate a Cade Cunningham. Like, I just don't think they have enough depth to slow him down or, frustrate him enough to win this series, in my opinion. So I will go Pistons in the 7.
Boss, let me save you for last.
Okay.
Because it in no way benefits me to say the Pistons aren't going to win this series. That doesn't benefit me at all in any way, shape, or form. So I'm just going to go strictly basketball. I think it's a lot to ask for our Pistons to go from winning 2 playoff games last year to winning it all this year.
Sure.
And doing it against a team who's already done it. To me, that's just a lot to ask. The Pistons, as good as they've been this year, as good as our team has been this year, there are some weaknesses we still have with our shooting. They haven't really manifested themselves because we haven't played playoff championship level teams consistently yet, right? But I think in the series when teams can make adjustments, I think the team that is just a little bit more well-rounded has the advantage. And I think that can hurt us in some games as far as our shooting kind of betraying us in some situations where Cade is getting guys open shots, Dennis is getting guys open shots, and we just can't knock them down in the fourth quarter in the game we need it in crunch situations. So I just think it's a lot to ask, especially considering I'm just looking at San Antonio and saying the reason I think they're going to lose to Denver is because of their lack of experience. So I got to be consistent as far as that. Even though style of play is different, to your point, we're more physical. I just think it's a lot to ask for us in our first year in an evaluation year, according to Trajan Langdon, to be able to beat a team who's already been there and done that with the best player in the world. I think that's just a little bit too much. I don't think that's even fair to ask of them. They can do it. They can shock the world. But even the previous teams, like the Pistons teams in the past, they had steps. They got there eventually. Even the Thunder, they took their steps to get there. Even the Nuggets, they took their steps. So I just think this is a season of taking a jump. I think it's just too much to ask for the Pistons, this young team, this early in their progression, to be able to get it. If they win this year, watch out for the next 3 or 4 years, though, because now it's like you can't even use experience as an excuse. There's going to be some more roster construction, maybe not if we win, but probably this offseason. So we're even better there. So the experience will be better, the team will be better, and at that point, if we win this year, we could go on a crazy run. So, but all things considered, I will probably pick the Nuggets in 6 games.
Okay.
If it's me. But just getting there for this team will be incredible. But go ahead. Go ahead, boss. I'll kick it to you.
All right. This is hard because I've been sitting here thinking of the reasons, the pros and cons of both, and I just can't pick one. My gut is saying Nuggets, but the Pistons winning wouldn't be a shock to me. So
right, it would, yeah.
There's one thing is just like when they were here and stop looking. When they were here and we won, even though Wu got those kind of BS ghost whistles to bring Jamal to the free throw line, he missed. Duncan and Jenkins both had terrible shooting nights. Mm-hmm. I think Duncan was like 0 of 8.
Yeah, he was
from
off.
3. So okay. I'm with Eric when Eric brought up if we can keep up with offense. Our defense is way better than Denver, 100%. Yeah, doesn't matter 100%. If Dayton Watson's on the floor, 1,000,000%. But the Denver can score through good defenses is why they're third. Like they can't. You still have to play good defense against them, but they can still score on you. But their defense is poor. Mm-hmm. So they have a couple good guys, a couple reliable guys. They can make, like I just said, Jokic can have 5 blocks game, like he can do that. But if our offense is on a roll, it almost depends on how the playoffs have gone for us. Because if our offense is shooting over 55%, like we have been these past few games to close out the season, mm-hmm. then I kind of pick the Pistons because that means that they can keep up with the Nuggets on the offensive end, but then they're the much better defensive team. But Jokic and Cade get a similar whistle, so I don't see either of those guys mm-hmm. necessarily drawing fouls to get to the line. Mm-hmm. But Jokic's whistles aren't at the rim. He gets guys in foul trouble on the perimeter by the pull throughs, things like that. So mm-hmm. I could see him frustrating some of our guys and getting guys like Ron Holland and Asar Thompson into trouble and JD and stuff like that. But just like with Jokic, like, and our benches match up pretty equally. I do think our bench is better than their bench. I will say, even though I just gave them credit for their bench, our bench is deeper. 2 good benches. Yeah, we could do a 2 big lineup just to help. Even Adelman out here, the Nuggets coach has tinkered with the Jokic Val lineup too. Mm-hmm. So it would be a good series, and the fact that we did beat them twice this year, and again. Mm-hmm. The game that we beat them here in Denver, 2 guys that we heavily rely on for offensive production were just way off. So, man, it would be tough. And I see some people in the comments being like, Sarah's happy for whoever wins. It would make me, I don't want to root against the Nuggets. It would make me kind of hate them if they won, No,
she's a Pistons fan first.
So I don't, that's why I also don't want to see them here either. It would make, I'd be happy maybe with time, but other than that, it would be tough to see. I mean, I just based off what my points were earlier, and like Deuce said too, I would still have to pick the Nuggets based on just what they've been able to do for the past 5 years straight in the playoffs.
Okay. How many games, boss?
7. 7.
7? Okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead. E.
Sarah, let me come back to you, Sarah. So I have my reasons to why I think the Pistons will win. I just named them.
Yeah.
If they were to win, because you said it wouldn't be surprised, what would the Pistons have to do to beat the Nuggets in this series?
Match their offense and keep up the defense.
Okay.
Like I just said,
Yeah.
I think like the fact that they were able to win without Jenkins and Duncan making basically any shot. I think Duncan had one layup, but he would when they were having terrible shooting nights out here. Like they would have to have their offense would have to be as productive as Denver's, or even just slightly less, because their defense is like, they just have to be on. Like we saw at the beginning of the season, like Cade needs help, all this stuff, and we've been on as it goes in. And if we're making it to the finals, it tells me that our offense has been on. We're not making it to the finals just purely on defense.
Right.
I think.
Yeah.
You have to have our defense is obviously going to be the bigger factor, but they would just have to be like Duncan would have to be on. We have to have reliable 3-point shooting. We'd have to have, people pressuring all their 3-point shooters, because everyone in the starting lineup for the Nuggets can shoot a 3.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that's not something you can say about ours. So
True.
You have to be a little bit more there. Some half court, just getting back on, transition. For me, the only thing they would have to do is just match the offense, just not fall. Just not fall in terms of offensive production. That's all they'd have to do.
So let me circle back to this, because Family Darkness said, and it's kind of a lot. I was talking about it's a lot to ask. It's a lot to ask for the Pistons to beat the Lakers in 04. But here's the thing, because context is important. That first of all, that 04 team wasn't a very young team. Those were veterans.
Mm-hmm.
They had playoff experience. They were older. And like I talked about steps, they had lost in the second round of the playoffs previously. They had lost in the conference finals previously. And then they got to the conference, and then they got to the finals and won it all. It's a big difference, once again, to ask a team who hasn't won a playoff series yet to just next year win the finals. Even this Thunder team, who's looking like they could be a dynasty going again this year, they took their lumps. So, and once again, like we talked about close games. Eric, you were saying how with the poll, like between Asar making 70% from the line and Ron Holland hitting 35% from 3, we were saying Ron Holland in close games, what's going to happen in those situations? We can't shoot ourselves in the foot against a team like Denver. And I think that could be something that we have to be aware of. So I think the lack of experience, just for me, would be the biggest thing. So we'll see. Once again, getting there would be incredible. Go ahead.
They have 3 players on their team that have had 50-point games. Murray and Jokic have had multiple 50-point. Like, you just can't take, and again, the way that they produce, like, and again, you just can't count any of them out. Like that's like Jokic will be in the paint, but like he won't be at the same time. Like, they're all going to be on the perimeter, and you have to watch out for cuts. Like, that's going to be the kind of defense you play. You're not going to have anyone planted in the paint or near the basket for that. They're all going to be out and moving around. And our defense is definitely apt for that. And I do want to say, you said that nobody can defend Cade. I absolutely believe that Peyton Watson can defend Cade, especially if Cade's not getting his whistle. Yeah,
really?
He can.
No,
yes,
I don't see that. I'm surprised by that. I don't see that. Okay.
Yes.
And I love Peyton Watson. He can hoop, but I don't think he's strong enough. I don't think he's strong enough.
I don't think he lets Cade get into the paint.
Really?
I think he forces Cade to give it a shot, or he makes Cade get into the paint and Cade has to throw up a shot, not hoping for a whistle, but of course through contact, and he's not going to get it.
If Cade posts him up, he's going to have his way. I feel like Cade has shown the ability to, like we've seen Jalen Duren set the offense from the top of the key. If Danis is running the offense from the top, if Asar gets to run the ball from the top, and Cade gets to post up on the block, and he's either backing down or shooting fadeaways, I think he's going to have his way. They don't exploit that enough, in my opinion, and I think that's an advantage. Again, I disagree personally. Again, I like Peyton Watson. I think he's a good player. I'm not thinking necessarily just about the fadeaways and stuff too, but I'm thinking more of like at the top, if he wants to drive it into the basket and stuff, Peyton Watson's going to make that tough for him. But Cade could the point of that too is that Cade could basically switch on to anybody and have his way as well. For sure.
So even if Peyton Watson is the main defender and is giving him problems, then it just becomes screen and switch time. So
I also think Jalen Duren has to be perfect in this series. My theory to them winning is attacking Jokic, and I think what we saw from JD in creating his own offense from the Pistons doing a really good job of playing help side defense, not just making play one-on-one, making them see a bunch of hands and arms like kind of flailing and giving you trouble. Like that last game they played, Jokic was really bad in the first half. And I think that was a really telling sign of how they were able to play him. If JD is able to attack Jokic, put him in foul trouble, like Sarah said, and I've definitely seen him get frustrated and yelling at the refs, like at a Luka level, maybe not as bad as Luka, but still pretty bad.
You don't see them at the line a lot.
I agree.
Yeah.
I totally agree. I just think Jalen Duren can be the guy to put that frustration in his head because we've seen him take it out and kind of like let that be an overshadowing thing for him. So if JD is perfect in that series, I absolutely think they have a chance to win that series.
And it could come down to officiating too, because we did see the last time these two played, they allowed the Pistons to play against them. They were physical against them, and they couldn't really get to the spots like they wanted to. So that could be a big part of it too.
Stu and Val get under each other's skin. That'd be another thing.
Very true.
Val will happily. Val has less, I think, control than Stu. I truly right now, based on what I've seen from him in recent games, he's getting physical out there. He's throwing elbows. He's doing that. So, but he's another guy that can also shoot three. So, like I said, I think we're the better defensive team, and we could slow them down and frustrate them. But we would have to produce on the offensive end. We would have to, because Murray, Gordon, and Jokic are gonna probably have games where if they throw up a shot, it's going to feel like it's KD or Kawhi or DeMar DeRozan where it's going in. Like you're just be like, that's in. Right. So,
Yep. Okay. That's all we got, guys. 3 hours in, and y'all hung with us for the whole thing, man. So definitely
that's awesome.
Definitely appreciate you guys stepping up. How do you guys not remember the steps that were taken before 2004?
Yeah, we're not going to do that. There were steps.
Come on,
there were
man.
steps.
We're not
there
doing
were
that.
steps. Yeah, there were definitely steps.
Y'all do your history, bro. Like, it wasn't just 2004. Here we go. Let's go get a championship. No, that same team had to go through their lumps the previous 2 or 3 years. I outlived it.
They did.
Come on, man. I followed that closely. Y'all know that. Y'all know better than that, man. So don't do that. Even the 88, 98, y'all know. Okay. Anyway, so guys, that's all we got for tonight, man. We appreciate you guys showing up and showing out as you guys always do. Evany, we appreciate you, bro. Pulling back up to the show, man. Make sure you guys are subscribed to my guy Evany, man. He's really doing his thing. He's killing it, by the way. Moved up on the subscriber count. You know what I'm saying? He's really doing his thing out here these days. I'm like, okay, bro, I see you. So guys, definitely make sure you tapped in with him on YouTube. Make sure you tapped in with Boss as well. Make sure you follow him on X, Instagram. I'm Eric Vincent. Make sure you guys are also tapped in with him on Live Assist, as well as clutchpoints.com with his articles. Links will be in the description for all of that. And lastly, guys, 2 days from now, the Pistons will be in action. So they will have played their first game 2 days from now. So facing off against the Orlando Magic in game 1. And for the first time, we talked about it a little bit earlier. First time at LCA, the Pistons will have home court advantage and will be hosting game 1 and 2 at LCA for the first time. That's a beautiful thing. And Boston's going to be here, guys, for that in the building for her first playoff game at LCA. That's going to be a lot of fun. I'll be there as well.
We're going to be there. We're going to be like there, like when doors open. Like first of all, I need to go to the store and get my playoff hat that I've been looking for that they don't sell online.
You always get a beeline straight to the store whenever you get there.
And I know they have ice cream or a drink. It's a tequila drink, so I don't know if I want the tequila drink. I might just ask for a different drink in that cup, but I need that shoe cup. I need it.
We'll make sure you get one for sure. So
I'm excited, guys. I'm excited.
Make sure y'all tap in, man. I'll be there as well. Evany has to be there. He got to be there. He's credentialed. He got to be in the building. He's going to talk to these guys.
I got a suit ready to go. Yeah,
I'm ready. Suit ready to go. Going to be courtside, talking to these guys before and after the game, suited and booted. So, and as you guys know, Boss and I are going to be here post game to break it all down. And who knows? Maybe we can get Evany to pull back up like he did last time after he finished his article. So we'll see how long that goes. But make sure you guys. Go ahead. You said what?
Please lock in with your local beat reporters for this, y'all. Please lock in with your local content creators because they like to push ESPN and all the national media ahead of us for the playoffs, for the national stuff. Support your local content creators through this stretch, y'all. It would mean the world to us for real, and it would mean a lot to the Detroit sports community for real if y'all can make an impact for real. So lock in. Do what you can to support everybody, man, for real.
Right. Evany, Omari, Hunter, Cody,
Sean Murphy,
Kool-Aid,
gang, yes sir.
Everybody, everybody who's involved. Make sure y'all tap in with everybody, man. We don't always get along with everybody. Who cares? They cover the team. They do a good job. That's all that matters. So make sure you guys tap in with everybody for sure. So I'm glad you said that, E, for sure. All right, guys. Make sure you guys smash that like button and subscribe to the Downtown Dudes and Boss Show if you are new. And with that, guys, we hope you have a great night. And y'all know the drill, man. Detroit versus everybody. Peace and love. See y'all Sunday. Let's go.
All the dirty work, all dog. I'ma dive on the floor, go try to block every shot. And I'ma be physical with you the whole game. You know Stu gonna be physical with you. When you think of the Pistons, you think of just hard work and just gritty basketball. That's just the identity you gotta have when you put on that jersey.
I'm not your average breed of canine. Not a good dog, I'm bad boy for life. I set the tone, don't care about no tick. Let it be known, I get my respect. Come in the lane and see I don't bluff. If you retaliate, that's on ya. They talking pundits, I hear your shade. Talking that chop, you must run this way. Tryna tell ya, if the dog palm, mess around, find out, Tryna tell ya, if the dog palm, mess around, find out, For some barbecue sauce, boy, you better cough a hill, cause I'm like that. When you're ready for some barbecue sauce, boy, you better cough a hill, cause I'm like that.